Today's episode is brought to you by Coal Creek Equine, makers of the best equine spa in the industry. If you want your horses to be world champions, you better put them in a Coal Creek. Well, guys, today on Uncut Real Raw, we've got two new guests here from the Old West Rope and Sail Futurities. Is that right, guys?
That is right.
So, I'm going to butcher it, so I'm just going to let you go. We've got Rhen and Miguel. What are your last names, guys?
Richard and Guerrero.
I was definitely going to butcher that one. Well, good to have you guys here. What I know about the rope horse industry is very little, but what I do know is it's exploding. There's so much money in your rope horse futurities industry now, because, you know, did you listen to the podcast we did with Miles Baker? Mm-hmm. I learned a tremendous amount from that. The amount of money that's going into this industry and the way it's growing is shocking to me. It's like it's growing way more than the roping, the cow horse. It's not the roping, the cow horse, the cutting, the reining. To me, it's just absolutely exploding. And what I love is you guys are actually selling these horses for a legitimate amount of money now. And not only that, people are willing to buy them for a legitimate amount of money.
Right.
You know, it seemed like for years, for most of my career, other than maybe the last especially 6-7 years, you know, it was hardly worth training a rope horse kind of deal. If you were a rope horse trainer, you were half starving to death. That you rode these things for 3-4 years, and you know you really weren't getting that much for them compared to the 4 years of actual time and effort. And it takes a lot of damn time to train these horses, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
You know, I've been out there at DT Horses, at Dean Tufton's out there in Scottsdale, and holy shit, the amount of time that they spend on these rope horses every day training them, it ain't fucking quick and it ain't easy. So I'm actually glad that you guys are getting some good money for your horses.
Absolutely. And I mean, the futurity world now, which I've been in the racehorse business for a long time through my grandpa and dad.
Quarter horse racing or thoroughbred?
Yeah, quarter horse racing. Okay. So our model kind of copied that a little bit. And as far as the money, like, racehorses have brought a lot of money for a long time because of the purses that they get to run at.
And the purses come from the gambling, correct? Is that mainly why the purses are good?
I mean, that, and they have these incentives, and they nominate those colts as a young age and pay into things. So there's
various revenue streams there.
Absolutely.
Okay. So give me a little bit of history about how you guys actually formed, and your business model of a company is called Old West Rope Horse Futurity, or what?
Futurity and Sales.
Old West Rope Horse Futurity and Sales. How did you guys meet? How many partners are in this deal? Talk to me about how this thing even got started.
Well, I'll let you, Rhen. Just go for it.
So, I mean, the way it started was Chad, my dad, Redgie, and I. We'd been in the business, trained rope horses. We'd been going to the futurities, and we actually had a program of our own. And what I thought top dollar was for these colts, we were getting, but we weren't being able to compete for a ton of money. So,
now, when you say colts, what age are you talking to colts? 2-year-old, 3-year-old?
Yeah, 2 to 5.
2 to 5.
2 to 5. So somebody comes in and buys a $150,000 4-year-old, and they want to show him for 2-3 years, and the best paying futurity pays $25,000.
Okay.
Right. So that's where we were like, okay, how do we get people to invest and make this sustainable? Well, it's pretty easy to figure out. We need to get these futurities to pay more money. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of our vision at first. Is we had our first show there in Heber City, Utah, at Reggie's place. The 5- and 6-year-olds.
When was that?
That was June, right there, first or second week of June in 2024.
Okay, so you've been going now 2 years.
This is our second year.
Second year, okay.
This is our third year.
Third year.
So last year was our second futurity. We had it there in Heber again, and that was the first year we had the sale with it. But just that first year we had the futurity, the 5- and 6-year-old class paid $100,000
to win it,
and we guaranteed that. And then the 4 and under paid $25,000. We guaranteed that. So we kind of built on that last year, same type of deal. Well, fast forwarding into the third year, and these graduate colts that have been through our sale, we're paying out a ton of money. So somebody's going to have a chance to win $1 million.
Is that
at the Heber
for
sale.
first place $1 million, or that's
If
split over the whole
no,
pot?
that's for first.
You're shitting me. So if somebody buys a 2-year-old, well, what age are the horses in your sale?
If they buy any horse in the sale,
So what are the ages of your sale?
3 and under.
3 and under. So they've got to buy any horse 3 or under out of your sale, and you're telling me they have the possibility of winning $1 million?
The very next year, they
The
can
very
win
next
$1
year?
million.
I don't think anybody in the industries, in the cutting, reining, anybody's done that.
That's exactly the point.
That's
exactly
phenomenal.
the point.
Okay, I got to fucking ask a question here. Where's this goddamn money coming from? That's a lot of money. You know what I mean? That's unheard of, $1 million for first place. Now,
Right.
do they split that between the 2 guys roping? Or that
No.
just gets to 1 guy?
that just goes to the one guy. I mean,
You're
it would-
shitting me. That's
no.
not even between the header and the heeler. Either the header or the heeler could walk away with $1 million.
Oh, absolutely. And
That's incredible.
exactly right. And that's exactly the beauty of it. It's how do we change? How do we make this more fun? And how do we give those breeders, a good opportunity to show their horses, and how do we bring all these products at our sale that are going to be subject to win $1 million the very next year? How many mares out there have you heard of that have won $1 million in one single event?
Not very many, no.
This is a good opportunity for those breeders.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it's all about. But in this particular case, it's all about the horse. It's not really about the rider. It's about the horse and the breeder. That's what makes this a very important, a key element for us as breeders, because now we need to strive and we need to do our best efforts to bring our very best horses out there, because people are expecting to buy the very best.
So is
Something
this
that
the
gonna
key? Is this key to
Yeah.
this business model of yours? Is it the sale, the horses in the sale, or how does the business model generate money to be giving away $1 million? How does the business model that you guys? Because I spoke to Chad Bussey from the Ruby and the Pink Buckle and that, and they have the stallion incentives and all that. So I understand how those payouts get so big.
Yeah.
How does your payout get big? Like, what is how does the money flow into it to enable you to give that kind of prize money away? Is there stallion incentives? Do you have to nominate foals? How does it work?
The model is we sold 40 slots. Okay, so each one of these slots cost you $25,000.
Okay.
That gets you 1 berth in any one of the sales.
Okay, and how many sales is there?
There's
have
3 sales.
Per year?
Yep, per
Okay.
year. Each one of those slot owners has the ability to put 4 total horses in the sale. They can spread those 4 horses out throughout the 3 sales.
But it's still $25,000 per slot.
per
berth.
slot and per berth, right?
So it'd be 4 horses would be $100,000. Somebody
Yes,
has to give
exactly
up.
right.
Okay, I'm just trying
Exactly
to
right.
understand how.
So
it
if
works.
we max out those 40 slots, and each one of those slot owners puts 4 horses in, we can raise $4 million. We can add that. We'll add $3 million across our 3 events for the guaranteed side pots that we're paying out no matter what, and then the bonuses at Heber City are paid out if you win first place on a sale graduate horse, then you win the bonus. So if you come in there on a sale graduate horse at Heber City and you win 5th place in the main futurity, because anybody can enter the futurity.
Okay,
you're
just stop right there for a second. You got to let me catch up a little bit, because I don't understand your world that much, and I don't follow it. So just let me catch up just a little bit here. So I can still enter your roping even if I didn't buy a horse out of your sale.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a penalty? Do I have to pay a higher entry fee or anything like that?
No, not at all.
Okay, so the main incentive for me to buy a horse out of the sale is I get a much bigger part of the chance to win prize money. Is that correct?
Well, that's a chance to win the $1 million.
Yes.
If you're competing in a horse that is a sale graduate,
Yes.
that's how you get $1 million.
Okay, that's it. But I can just show up, pay my entry fee, as long as the horse is eligible for the right age, fits a few basic criteria, I'm good to go.
Absolutely.
Every trainer's looking for an edge on their competition. Whether it's a better horse, better way to train it. But really, in reality, all the trainers have got access to great horses. All the trainers are doing a lot of the same techniques. To me, the next greatest edge on competition, whether you're reining, cutting, cow horse, eventing, or racing, is keeping your horses sound and ready for competition. For the last 4 years, I've been sparring my horses by Cold Creek Equine Spar, and I spar them for 20 minutes every day after I ride them at 36 degrees. It ices down all 4 legs. What a game changer. My vet bills have been cut back by 50%. My horse's soundness has been gone through the roof, okay? People think that spars are expensive. It'll pay for itself just on saving on vet bills in the first 18 months. Spas have been around for a long time, but for years they've been junk. They are broken more than they actually work. You needed to be like a plumbing engineer to make some bitches work. Cold Creek Equine are using the latest technology, industrial strength machines that are basically maintenance free. Anybody can operate this thing. Even me as a horse trainer, I can operate it. And more than anything, it stays working. Go to their website, check them out. It's a game changer. In the next 10 years, if you're a professional horse trainer, if you don't have a spa, you will be left behind on your equine soundness.
Breaking Bad is a 2020 stallion by Stevie Ray Vaughan, out of the all-time leading broodmare Sweet Abra. He is dual-registered AQHA and APHA, and is 6-panel NN. At just 6 years old, he's already earned over $230,000 and is still showing. He is nominated to the major NCHA and NRCHA stallion programs, and is part of the new Legacy Bonus, which has an estimated payout of $1 million to be paid at the NCHA Futurity. For more information or to request your breeding contract, contact Beau Gallion Stallion Services or Fultz Ranch at 806-672-6039.
This episode is brought to you in part by Real Cow, bringing the most realistic mechanical cow experience to your training program.
So if you won 5th place on a sale graduate colt, you'd still win, and you were the highest placing sale graduate colt, you'd still win 1st place in the guaranteed side pot, which would be this year at Heber City, it pays $50,000 to win the guaranteed side pot. And then if you won 5th in the main pot, you'd get that purse.
Yep.
To win the bonus, you have to win 1st place in the main pot, which gets you 1st place in the side pot. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what are the ages of the horses that are competing? What is there different divisions or different classes? What talk to us about how that works.
So we call it pre-futurity, which is their 4-year-old year, and then the open futurity side is their 5- and 6-year-old year.
Okay, so you're a little bit different from cow horse. We call their futurity year the 3-year-old year. Your futurity year in the rope horse futurity world is called 4-year-old, correct? What month in the 4-year-old year does that start? Whereabouts in that 4-year-old year?
Just January 1.
Okay, so as soon as they turn 4, January 1, that is classed as their pre-futurity year. It's not it's not a pre-futurity show, one show. You got the whole year is called pre-futurity.
Correct.
Okay. Now, do those 4-year-olds, do they only compete against other 4-year-olds, or they compete against horses that are 5 and 6 as well?
Just in the 4-year-old.
Okay, that's good. Okay, they're only competing against other horses.
That makes it very even.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? Yes, the cow horse does not do that. It needs to do it soon. Is a big disadvantage from those 4-year-old Derby horses competing against 5-year-olds. It's just that's a whole nother year of experience that they don't have.
Just 1 year.
So they need to separate that. Hopefully they will soon. The reiners have done it. The cutters have done it for a long time. So the cow horse people need to do it. Okay. So after that 4-year-old year, how many shows can you put on that somebody can show up with a 4-year-old and show in your futurities? Do you have the 3 shows a year, is it?
So just our futurities, and we actually just acquired the ARHFA. They have 3 of their own events, and then we have the 3 grade 1s is what we're calling them. And each one of those grade 1s will have our side pots and things for those graduate colts.
And 3 sales. The other events don't have sales.
Okay, so technically, you've got 3 events that you put on, and then there's another association. What was that called?
The ARHFA, and
What's that stand
they're
for?
American Rope Horse Futurities.
Okay.
And Jay and Lindsay Wadhams, they kind of started that. They were the first ones to start doing these futurities.
Do they have pretty good prize money too?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I mean the way Jay started it all from where he was 10 years ago to today, I mean, they've done a great job and grown it. And it's pretty cool to see our group be able to come in here and give them the support that they've needed.
So everybody works together, it sounds like, pretty good.
Yeah, no.
So technically, if you've got a 4-year-old, there's 6 pretty damn good paying events to go to in that 4-year-old
And that's just in our association. There's the Gold Buckle, the Royal Crown, there's got to be over 10 good shows now.
Great events out there.
From a horse training standpoint, you know, at least for the reiners and cow horses, you don't want to show these horses a ton in their 4-year-old year, like every month, because they'll get to be running off and the pressure will get too much on them. You know what I mean? They might show them 5-6 times and do a bunch of schooling on them. In the rope horse futurity world, what is a typical, like how many times could you really run a 4-year-old, run it for the money and try to whip somebody's ass as a general rule? You know what I'm trying to say? Like those cutters, they can show them a lot. It's almost like they get better the more they show them.
Yeah.
But those reiners and cow horses, because of that speed and that galloping, that'll get them a little nutty if you're not careful.
It just,
So
I think it depends on the horse.
Okay.
I mean, especially in then the heeling, like I think you can show those horses a lot, kind of like the cutting. The more you show them, the more solid they get.
Oh, truly.
And it's like our setups at our shows, the cattle are strong enough that really the more solid your horse gets to where you can just go rope and you're not actually trying to overshow the horse or like completing the course on a real one is going to let you win.
So why does the pressure of showing regularly not blow up a heel horse compared to a head horse? What, from a training standpoint, what does it do to a head horse when you show them too much or don't school them enough? What does it do to them?
I think the hardest part for a head horse would be just in the box.
Okay.
Just because they got to stand there and run a little harder than what a heel horse does.
Because you guys are very much judged on the quality of the box, correct? Mm-hmm. They stand there. They're not
the moment they go in.
The moment they go in. They're not prancing. They're not gapping their mouth. They're not shaking their head. So that's a whole different side of it compared to the rodeo side of roping, just for the time clock, correct?
That is right.
You know what I mean? They, in theory, they don't really necessarily give a shit what it does as long as it doesn't break the barrier. And as long as it doesn't interfere with them roping. Did I get that right or wrong?
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
trying to be an asshole,
yeah,
but like that's
right.
That's the basic line of it. It's all about time. You guys, explain a little bit to me the judging side of it based on, it is somewhat time, correct? You are judged on some time in the rope horse futurity deal,
yes.
correct? So explain to me and the listeners that don't follow your world, how does the whole judging thing work with time and explain the different categories of how it's judged.
So in the heading, it's box and barrier, run and rate.
Slow down. Box and barrier. Okay.
Run and rate, catching the cow.
And then does he wait there and not overrun the cow?
He needs to show you that he's connected and he's going to run up there and rate and not run through your hand. And the next maneuver is set and handle. So they want to see a head horse run up there, engage with his hind end, let you put it on the saddle horn and get control of the steer before we turn left. It's not just a blur like a rodeo type run.
Okay, yes. Okay.
So there's got to be some control there. And that's the nice thing where, like, you know, talking about the cow horse. I mean, when you're going down the fence and it's wide open, you don't just gash your horse and see how fast we can get by him. You're going to get up there and hook up to the cow and make sure you got control and then go ahead and turn the steer or turn the cow on the fence. It's the same thing in the heading and the heeling, is they want to see you get there as fast as you can, but then gain control of the steer and work the cow through the turn.
So what do they judge you once you get the rope dallied up? What's the next part? They judge you on the turn or the face up, or what is that called?
So when you put it on the horn, that's set and handle. So they want to see you take control of the steer. Your horse needs to be on his butt, shoulders up, control. And then the last maneuver is pull and face. So they want to see the horse's shoulders clear, get his hips and shoulders lined up, pulling the cow, and then face and keep the rope tight. Not running off backwards, not leaving slack in the rope, but just pulling physical and facing nice and clean.
So each one of those components you just mentioned, they're a separate category that they get judged.
Correct.
Is it 1 to 10? What is the scoring system? Is it start like a 70, like the cow horse and Rhen?
Yeah, so like a +4 is the absolute best you can do, and then a -4 is the worst you can do.
So they give you can go from a -1 to a +1 on each one of those maneuvers, correct? So there's 4 maneuvers.
Yep.
Correct.
And what do the heel horses get judged on? How many components do they have?
Same thing. There's 4 maneuvers.
4
box and
maneuvers for them
barrier,
too.
run and rate, corner and entry, and stop and jerk.
Okay, they're the 4. So you can either go up 4 points or potentially go down 4 points. Okay.
Correct.
So what happens, explain this to me, and I don't mean to be so ignorant about this, but again, I don't follow your world. Explain to me that you've entered up into your event and you're a healer, and you've paid your money, etc. If the guy heading for you misses, are you screwed now? Like, you didn't even get a chance to get your rope out. If he misses, are you just shit out of luck?
You're done.
You're done.
Oh my God.
Hopefully you got a good helper.
Yeah. Okay. That's just it.
That's what the word team means right there.
Okay. So even though you didn't do shit wrong, you're just straight out of the money, straight
You're
off
out.
the bat.
You're
okay.
out.
Fair enough then.
Yeah.
What of the headed and heeling horses in your industry, what brings more money to sell them? What horses are worth more money, the headed horses or the heeling horses? Or does it matter?
Well, right now, I would probably say head horses, but I honestly think this thing's about to turn into something that we had no idea it was going to get turned into. I think there's some horses that are geared up for some of the sales this year that are out of big time mares that have had huge careers in either the cutting or the cow horse or even the reining, to where there can be a heel horse come in there, prospect stud, bring 2, 3, 4 million. Right. I mean, I truly think that's going to happen.
Okay.
So it's hard to say where it's going to go. Right now, the highest sold horse would be the mare that Trevor and Miles sold last year. She brought 1.7 million.
And how much money had she won before she brought that in the
She
sale?
was a 3-year-old that had barely been roped on. She's a prospect.
Oh, so she's entering her futurity year.
This year.
She? And they gave how much? 1.7?
1.7 million.
That's incredible.
At the sale last year.
The biggest bet
is
this year.
Yeah.
In the
So
futurity.
she'll show this year.
Exactly
Just
right.
started. Yeah. That's
Exactly
incredible.
right.
Why do the head horses, as of right now, why are head horses bringing more money than heel horses? For what reason? Like, I'm new to this. So, Clinton, this is, explain to me why I'm going to have to pay more for a head horse. Did I take more training? Is it a different individual?
It does take a little bit more training and a little bit more specifics.
I just think there's probably a lot more potential good heel horses out there than head horses.
So supply and demand, would that be a way of looking at it? There's a lot more supply of horses that physically, because, correct me if I'm wrong, a head horse has got to be quite a bit bigger than a heel horse, correct? Bigger, stouter, stronger, faster, all of it. So I'm getting the impression from you guys, one of the main reasons is the heel horses, there's just more of them that would fit that category. Is that right or wrong? Did I oversimplify that?
No, and I just think that as far as the breeding and creating a head horse, it's pretty new. Like, forever we tried to go find something in the
You
cow
bought
horse
everybody's
world.
rejects.
Yeah,
For years.
and we couldn't find the size.
Yes.
They're few and far between. One that was 15.2 uphill, and might have been 2 uphill to cut in the cow horse, so we were going to head on him. So now we're strategically trying to create that with breeding. We're taking either a cow horse stud or a racehorse type stud that the conformation says he's supposed to do X, and we're crossing it on a big time either racehorse mare, whether it's a cow horse stud or vice versa, a cow horse.
That cross with
mare.
the race horses, that's coming out good for the headers.
I had no idea that those quarter horses, because I went down to see Melanie Smith there at Solo, and she showed me some of these quarter horse run-and bred yearlings. I had no idea they were that friggin' big. They looked like our 4-year-old, 5-year-olds as yearlings. She showed me some horses that were about to go to the, what's the sale there? The big sale there, the racehorse sale, Oso Rio.
Heritage?
No, the other
Ruidoso?
one. Ruidoso. She showed me some yearlings that were about to go to that sale.
Oh, she brought many.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
They were huge.
That's exactly.
They were
exactly,
big.
That's exactly the point.
Again, I'd never been around the racehorse industry. I knew thoroughbreds are pretty big, but I had no idea that these quarter horse running horses were like friggin' 15.2 for Christ's sake as yearlings.
They bring the size, they bring the speed.
And long. They were big everywhere.
Yeah.
Not just tall. They were
exactly
wide, long, everything.
See, and that's where, it's a little bit tricky because, it's not necessarily that horse that is going to be 16 hands and long, that's got a big, long stride that can really get down the track and still getting faster at 440 yards. We're kind of taking the tighter strided, a little bit more of a smaller type racehorse, shorter backed, something that's quick footed, and then crossing those type on the cow horses.
On the cow horses. Specifically, why cow horses? Why not, I'm not going to sound ignorant here, but why not reiners? Why not cutters? Why cow horse
Cow horse
bloodline?
bring the cow sense part
Cow
of it.
scent,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, and I think when I say cow horse, I'm still talking cutters.
Okay,
Cow
he can
bred
cross
horses.
over.
Yeah.
Like a horse like Stevie Ray can cross over.
In healers,
Yep.
all those cutters do great. And some of the reiners or the horses that are started as reiners, they come out to be great healers too.
Well, and I think
Yeah.
the reining, I mean, Trevor and Miles, there's a few different guys that have dipped into the reining and had a lot of success. But I see people starting to use a lot more of the reiners just because they are a little bit bigger and stronger and
They're
maybe
quieter.
a little more cold-blooded,
much more quiet. And they've got a lot more natural stop.
Yeah.
They've bred the stop into those reiners now for
Exactly
over
right.
50 years.
See, and I think that cross is going to work for us.
That's what Dean told me too, Dean Tufton. He said sometimes if they get too much cow in them, they're a little bit spookier in the box, they get too looky, they can be too much cow there. Where getting some of that cow out of them and breeding them either the reiners or the racehorses is a good little combination there.
Well,
But
the
biggest
racehorse brings the speed.
The biggest thing I would for sure say breeding them to reiners is the stop is pretty much, when I say guaranteed, but it's genetically much better to be there, the stop, and they've bred them so numb now that they can't be hot like they used to, like a lot of, you don't see any of the cutter, like when Avila was alive, he sat in that chair and, they came to the Rhen and Futurity with a lot of cow-bred horses, but you don't see that anymore because they're just too feely. They're too hot. They're galloping so fast now, one-handed, big drape on 3-year-olds. If they're just too feely, they're just going to run off on you. They've almost got them to be dumb and numb. They've got to be big, dumb robots that do exactly what you tell them, don't think. They need to be robots. I told you to circle. I told you to stop. Don't outthink. And because when they get to thinking too much, they'll start anticipating the lead change. They'll start anticipating the stop. I don't mean it to be derogatory when I say big and dumb, but they want them to just only do what I tell you. You never want a reiner to start thinking, hey, can we go do this now? Yeah. Where you guys and the cow horse cutting and you need a horse trying to help you get to the cow, correct? And helping you make a few decisions. Is that right or wrong?
Yeah, no, you're right. I actually have a question for you. So where you've been in the cow horse stuff now the last little while, but you rode a ton of reiners. Like, do the reiners, can they run more than the cow horses?
No, I don't think so. Not really, no. I tell you what is so tough about the reining, okay? Out of all the disciplines, that one needs the most schooling to make them behave. Like, so you go mark a 75, 76, 77, a big run on them, okay? You might have to go show them 2 or 3, at least 2 times, but maybe 3 or 4 times, take them to shows and just go school them. Put them through a reining pattern, make them slow down, make them wait, etc. Because very few of those open reiners past 7-year-old, they're no good anymore because they're running off around the ends. By the time they get to 7, they've been shown, they might show 5, 6 times a year really hard. So they've done that, they've done it twice in their 3-year-old year, pre-futurity, and then some of them show them 3 times in their 3-year-old year. They might show them 4 or 5 times, maximum 5 in their 4-year-old year. Then 5-year-old year, by the time they get to 7, they've had 20, 25 really hard runs on them. They figured out the end of the arena. When they're coming around the end, they know they're going to gallop down there. Yeah. They're anticipating lead changes. So they have to do a lot of schooling. And what people don't understand about reiners is the level of competition is so tough now, especially on a 3-year-old. They're doing it one-handed. So you got one finger between the reins, okay? Mm-hmm. If those horses gap their mouth, pin their ears, flick a tail, show any sign of resistance, bang, you're done. Like, they are so critical, and you are doing it with that much speed. They are galloping these 3-year-olds, not pony loping their asses around. I mean, fucking cowboys and Indians running for their lives. That is extremely tough on them mentally to get them to keep their shit together. So there's no way you could do that on cow-bred horses the way that reining is now. Because those smart little leaners that Avila used to show up at the Rhen and Futurity with, they're just too damn feely. Yeah. You know what I mean? They just, and they weren't running them as fast back then. Not only that, the cow bloodlines don't work as well for the reining now because a lot of the cow-bred horses now, when they stop, they genetically stop all 4s. Like, they're like over, we got to stop now. They've got these reiners now, especially the gunner trashers. Those things just pedal. I swear to God, you breed a gunner trasher, it pedals coming out of the uterus. I mean, that little motherfucker just pedals coming out of that uterus. They've got those gunner trashers bred so well now, but just watching them turn their front feet and watching them stop, I mean, they just genetically pedal. Those son of bitches,
Sure
you know
is,
what I mean?
It sure is different.
Where 20 years ago, even now, all those cotton bred horses, it's not natural for them to pedal at all.
Right.
That was probably one of the toughest things I had to learn coming from the reining going to the cow horses, is I ruined a few cow horses trying to make them pedal up front and be like a reiner. Because can they do it? Sure. But is it easy to get them to do it? No. And I ruined a few good ones trying to be picky about that when it's like they just genetically do this.
They're just not made for it.
They're not made for it as a general rule because, reining you want them to pedal. The other two events you want them to stop now, not in 6 more feet as you slide across the ground. It's got to stop now. So that's why the cutters, they can show them so much more because they're not galloping them.
Yeah.
Right.
And the cow adds a little bit of variety to what they're doing. With those reiners, it doesn't take them very many shows, and they figure out there's a lead change right there. There's a rundown right here, and there's a stop right over there. So nothing changes. So that's how those horses get to anticipating. So that's why they do so much schooling in between. So Doug Carpenter always used to say, you want reiners to be sleepy-eyed and quiet, and you want cow horses and cutters to be bright-eyed and alert. The 2 different types of animals there. Did that answer that question?
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's tough. These Rhen and Futurity horses now, how talented they are, and the skill level is shocking. What they have to get these horses to do, and that's what a lot of people in the Western horse industry don't understand is you don't have the flat out galloping. Now, maybe in your world you have some galloping, but you're galloping a short distance.
Right.
You're not galloping several circles. 3 rundowns. Where you're sending him...
It's aggressive, but it's short.
Yes, it's aggressive, but short.
Yeah.
You will add, it'd be like you going and doing an aggressive run, literally pulling your rope off that horse and trotting right back to that box, backing him back in there and doing 4 of them in a row. Could you imagine what that might do to their brain a little bit? You know what I mean? 4 times in a row doing that, So they bred them a lot quieter. Yeah, I think they'll probably work for your industry.
I honestly think you'll see, even like when you're talking about the gonna trash is wanting to pedal. Like, I see people watching this podcast and saying, "Wow, I'm gonna try gonna trash you on a cow horse," because
I've got some cow horses now, but I've got some gunner trashers that I'm gonna start in the cow horse. I love them. I think they're phenomenal.
Well, I mean, in the heel horse discipline, you want them to know there's a cow there, but you don't want them throwing their ears forward and cowing off.
Yes.
Right? So there's a happy medium there. And then the last thing you want one doing in the stop is locking their front feet up and not moving. So if a guy could figure out a way to breed that into them, like, there's a cow there, I don't got to be scared of him. And then when they hit their ass, they can keep their front end.
I can tell
loose.
gunner trashers most of the time with just watching them turn around and watching them stop. I don't even have to look at their papers. About 9 times out of 10, you can tell it's a gunner trasher. They bend at the knees. There's something weird about them. They bend at the knee, and they just got a lot of action like this when they stop. And when they turn, they're so frigging fast.
Yeah,
really.
They're so fast in a spin. But, you can just tell by the way they get around. They're short back, big hip. A lot of the fillies can get a little warm, so a lot of the reiners don't like that because a lot of the reiners, if you go to the Rhen and Futurity, the open finals, let's just say round number, 30 horses, out of 30 horses, they'll be like 25 studs and a few geldings and maybe 5 mares at best.
Correct.
Because the mares don't do that well in the reining Futurities and the reining in general at that higher level because the mares are too feely. And I'm talking generalities now. There's always an exception. But as a general rule, they're too feely. They're too looky. They look at the signs. They don't kind of like being told what to do, to be honest. And reining is a very dictated sport. Only do, again, what I tell you to do.
Right.
Where the studs are typically lazier. They take the training better. They're a lot more single-focused. And because they're a little bit lazier, they're not going to overdo everything. They're just going to try to do the bare minimum to get by. Their brains are just different. You know what I mean? It's just different. I'm not saying there's not great reining mares. There are.
A little bit more repetitive, you could say?
Yeah, they just take the training better. They're just tougher. They're physically stronger. And a lot of the great reiner mares, one thing they all have in common, a lot of them are numb. They kind of almost act like studs. They're a mare, but you can thump them in the belly and get in the middle of their shit, and they don't get their fucking feelings hurt. They don't cry for a week. They don't want a divorce. They take their ass whipping and move the fuck on. You get what I'm trying to say? I've been divorced twice. You can clearly see why, okay? But they don't get butt hurt. They kind of take it like a man, take it on the fucking chin and shake it off and say, okay, I'll do better next time. Where a lot of the fillies will get very butthurt about a correction, and especially in the reining. I know it sounds stupid, but when you're showing them one-handed on a drape, if they cock their head at a sign, you're fucked. You're coming around there really fast in a lead change, and that filly looks at that judge sitting in that chair that's 10 feet up in the air and looks to the outside of that circle going that fast, and you're about to do a lead change. That makes it hard. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's, again, you can't cheat with your wrist or grab a fistful. You're literally like that.
Yeah. Right.
That's pretty hard to neck rein them like that at that speed that they're doing now.
See, and I think that's probably going to be one of the biggest differences in our discipline is it is hands-on, right? So what would a horse like that be like if you could help them? Because they might be elite if there was a little bit of, So we're in our event, we're trying to train them. We're taking the big moves out of them.
What do you mean by the big moves?
So like we're taking their stride and tightening their stride.
Okay, now explain to me from a horse training perspective why you want to shorten the stride. And I'm asking this honestly as a horseman. I don't understand why is the stride shortening such a big deal in your world?
Because when you're trying to be an athlete in the saddle and swing your rope and throw your rope, if their feet are off the ground, like it takes the power away from you.
Pretty hard to do.
So if the faster their feet can be on the ground, the more athletic you can be in the saddle.
With your rope.
With your rope.
Truly,
and just when you run up there and you catch one out of stride and they react by making a big move, it throws power through the seat and it gets you off balance.
Kind of kicks you forward a little bit.
Instead of you being able to run up there, we got a moving target, and the smoother I can run up there and just the more I can crawl out over the horse or do whatever I need to do in the saddle and be precise with what I'm trying to do with my rope.
Is it more or less important for the heel horses to be cowy compared to the head horses? Like, out of the two horses, which do you want to be a little more cow smart, or does it matter?
I honestly think the heading, you want them to be a little bit, I wouldn't say cow fresh, but like if you could take a racehorse that really wants to run, but he doesn't want to get too close to the cow, then you can use the cow to help that horse get in the correct frame, right? He can bring his shoulders up if you teach that horse how to react off the cow the right way. Or in the heeling, like the last thing you want them to do is throw their ears forward and like booger from the cow.
Okay, so heeling, you almost want a little less cow in them for a heeling.
A little less cow.
Little less cow.
You want them to know there's a cow there,
Yeah,
but you don't want them going,
whoa, you need that cow in both of them, but it's...
It sounds to me that a reiner would probably work good for these heel horses, especially.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Because it's not like these reiners all go back to some cow bloodlines, all of them. Gunner, Trasher, Gunner, they all go back to cow blood. So I don't want to take it out that they got no cow in them. And a lot of them would have some cow in them to some degree. Maybe not the Gunners; they're pretty laid back. But talk about a stop and a turn on them.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. So
some of the best healers have a little bit of those reining basics on.
Yes,
the basics on.
Hi everyone, my name is Michael Miola. My wife Michelle and I own and run the fabulous Silver Spurs Equine Breeding Centers located in Purcell, Oklahoma and Scottsdale, Arizona. We specialize in making your equine dreams come true by breeding the finest American quarter horses in the world. Finding that special horse, the one that speaks to your soul, is what Silver Spurs is all about. When you come to our ranch in Purcell, Oklahoma, you will meet that fabulous weanling that once trained, utilizing Clinton Anderson's tried and proven methods, will become an extension of your body, knowing intuitively what you want to do and give you endless hours of adventure and love. Our stallions are the elite. They represent the finest bloodlines in their sport and have won every championship title during their competitive careers. Our breeding program is partially skill, partially science, partially art, definitely a gift from God, but mostly love. So if you share our passion and possess the drive and desire to compete in the show pen or tour the great American landscape with a loyal companion, creating adventures you will treasure for a lifetime, Silver Spurs has the horse you've been dreaming of.
It's not easy making change. It's not easy raising champions. It's not easy breeding excellence. But the equine industry demands nothing less than the finest. That's when true greatness is born. At Valley Equine, we nurture that greatness every day. We cultivate the next generation of champions, the future icons of the arena. There's a lot of dedication involved, and we've been committed for more than a decade. Through trials and triumphs, we've been there, steadfast in our mission. Today, we are the leader in equine breeding, with specialized expertise in producing tomorrow's champions. We drive the evolution of equine excellence through innovation, empowering breeders to shape the future of the industry. We firmly believe that the world of equine breeding is constantly changing, and that we can too. Advance with us. We are Valley Equine, many years in the making and committed to excellence.
Visit valleyequinerepro.com to learn more.
This episode is brought to you in part by DT Horses, the elite Western performance breeder for cutting, cow horse, and rope horse futurity prospects. So guys, we're back after a break now. Talk to me about when did the horse training and the horsemanship and this whole rope horse futurity world, when did it really change? How many years ago? And how have you seen the training of a rope horse evolve and since then?
Oh, well, you know, the sport is growing by the second.
So when did the rope horse quote-unquote futurity stuff start? Like how many years ago did you guys really say this is going to be a whole nother subsection of team roping?
No, well, that's been quite a while. I would say for the last...
Jay was the first one to do
10
one.
years.
Jay who?
Jay Wadhams.
Jay Wadhams.
Okay.
From the American Rope Horse Futurity.
And how many years ago was that, do you think?
It's been 15 plus.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh,
20.
that long?
Oh,
I
yeah.
did not know that.
It was little enough to where they didn't really get big until the last 10 years.
10 years.
Okay, that's what I was
10
thinking
years.
was,
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so let me ask you, if it's been around 15 years, but let's say the last 10 years it got kind of popular, was there a lot of resistance from ropers to learn a different skill set, to change over to being a judged event rather than a timed event? Was it kind of looked down upon? Did people shit on it? Was it accepted like, hell yes, we love this? Talk to me about the culture of roping. How was that accepted or not?
So
Rhen?
for me, like I was kind of always intrigued by the horse show stuff because I've always had passion about horses. But from an outsider looking in, when the Futurities first started, like they just took the horse show guys that were showing mostly at the AQHA shows and the roping events, and they were your main brunt of entries. So all those guys were kind of doing both. They were going to the AQHA shows and then showing some of those horses at the Futurities.
Was that an easy crossover? Like what AQHA was looking for, was it what the rope horse standards were? Was it an easy crossover or not?
At first at the Futurities it was, because a lot of the guys that were competing on the jackpot rodeo circuit weren't going to the Futurities.
Okay.
So just in the last 10 years is when some of the rodeo guys and the jackpot guys started crossing over. And then they started, you know, they wanted a horse to come to the Futurities that you could ride at the BFI, which is a big jackpot they've had forever, and it's a long score, cattle are strong, so they wanted to see something that you could ride at the BFI. So then that's what kind of opened the door to the rodeo jackpot type guy. And what was happening is a lot of these horse trainers that were going to the AQHA shows would have these horses, and then they would hire these high-level ropers to come show them. Right. So they weren't really training the horses.
Because the roping was tougher, correct?
They wanted a high-level guy riding the horse. Where, like, you got a guy like J.D. Yates or Jay Wadhams that did it forever at a high level, and they were riding a different style of horse, but they were still a high-level roper.
Yes.
Where it's evolved over time, and now it's like it's pretty much the foundation to a big time rodeo horse. These Futurities, and
Right,
that's,
they want them trained like that now. So I suppose what I'm hearing is the way they're training these rope horse futurity horses now as 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds is the foundation to be a great rodeo horse, correct? Even though rodeo is going to be strictly a timed event, the foundation that they're teaching them: stand still in the box,
Absolutely.
act right in the fucking head, don't run off. Good horsemanship.
Absolutely.
That is now kind of the base of what rodeo industry is.
Yeah, well, what I want to go back to is like the AQHA horse 15 years ago was rode completely different. He was bred completely different. He didn't have to run near as fast because of the way they showed him. Now, like you said, it's something that can haul ass, get down the arena. He's a big, strong type horse. He's not, the head horses aren't sliding 10 feet when you rope and put it on the saddle horn. It's just a completely different deal that's trained towards the rodeo jackpot style horse.
I believe that we're more strict into what we're looking for. Now we're a little bit more strict. We know what we want. And those basics are definitely a key driver for a good horse. You know?
Do you think the rope horse futurity? I'm getting the impression the rope horse futurity influence has very much changed roping trainers in general of how we're training horses.
100%.
Totally.
Well, just like
Absolutely.
you said earlier, like forever, the rope horse guys got the rejects of every other discipline. Where now, like, if a horse doesn't work for you in the cow horse, there's a good chance he's probably not going to work in the roping now.
Funny you say that because Miles just said that to me. So I've got a horse, a Yield and a Stevie Ray out of a Hottish mare that Miles and Trevor and I own in a partnership. And I was going to show it in the cow horse for its 3-year-old year, and then Miles and Trevor take it and go show it after that. And we were thinking about putting it in your sale because, and I said to Miles, I said, well, if I don't show it as a cow horse, how do we know it's going to work? And he said, if it'll work for you for the cow horse, it'll for sure work for us as far as when I say for sure, there's a damn good chance it'll do well.
Absolutely.
If it doesn't have enough talent to do what you want,
Yeah.
he said, I can sure as shit tell you it won't have enough talent to do what we want.
Well, and like for me, when I go to the cow horse finals and I walk down through there and I'm looking at conformation and the big time horses, like, they're not 14 flat and downhill.
Yeah.
Like, they got a big old hip on them. They're clean neck, short back. They're strong. They're uphill. Like, those are the type of horses that work for us. So, yeah, I mean, if it works for you and you can go compete.
There's no more
snaffle bit-
rejects making it now. is
That's
there?
exactly a point.
Yeah, there's no
Back
more.
then, we used to have rejects.
Yes.
Now, we're breeding rope horses.
Yes.
That's the big difference.
Yes. Who is tracking all the money in your world, all the money that the mares and, all the horses are winning? Who's tracking your earnings? Is there an association that's tracking like Equistats do?
Equistat.
Oh,
does it.
Equistat do it now.
Yep.
Okay.
But that's still a challenge that we're working on. I
It
mean,
is to get accurate
It's a working
earnings.
process.
The Futurities are all tracked for
Yeah.
sure. But they're starting to want to track big time rodeo horses and all these
Exactly.
jackpots and the
Jackpots,
Riata
exactly.
buckle. They're a big influence on tracking it. So
the
and we're-
international part is also very important.
yeah, and
International?
Yeah.
So talk to me about that a little bit. I had no idea. Like, I obviously knew ropings all over the world, but they got rope futurities in other countries
Oh,
too?
absolutely.
Okay.
And great jackpots, too. I mean, I'm from Mexico, right?
Yep.
I'm from Chihuahua, Mexico. And we are a northern state. We're the border with Texas. We're 220 miles south of El Paso. But the rope horse, I mean, the team roping industry, it's growing by the second over there as well. But there's plenty of American quarter horses over there. I mean, I bet that there's much more than what we can think of because a lot of people, due to language barriers or just communication, they don't make their right transfers or, all the process that needs to be done for those horses to be accounted for over in Mexico. So they're, in their senses, it's a horse that is from Oklahoma, but it's really in Mexico. But that horse is winning. Who's taking care of that international part? And that's really a challenge that we have that we need to work on because there are great horses internationally speaking. Brazil has great horses. Mexico has great horses. Canada has great horses.
What would be the other country that would be have the biggest influence of roping other than America? What's the next country that's the biggest ropers? Brazil, Mexico?
probably Brazil.
Probably Brazil and Mexico.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Brazil has a huge market.
They show a lot of rope horses in
Oh, yeah.
Brazil. I'm not as familiar with Mexico
Oh,
as what you
yeah.
would be. But
Same.
that's one thing that we want to do as Old West is take our Futurities international in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. So this mare that sold for 1.7, if she went out there and won a bunch of money, and hopefully she does for the owners and so forth, it seems like if a mare wins a bunch in the rope horse futurity world, her babies, it could be a very good financial thing that her babies could be worth quite a bit. Like, you guys are willing to throw some money down now and not just buy the cheapest horse or reject. It actually could seem like, I suppose what I'm trying to ask is there any mares yet that are kind of famous rope horse producing mares, or it's still too early?
No,
there's plenty out there.
Okay, there's plenty out there that have actually been big time producing horses.
And big
there's
champions.
probably 5 mares out there now that you can go to that's going to cost you six figures
to buy a yearling out of them?
Colt out of them.
That's interesting. Talk to me about the sex. Like, I talked to you about, like, you know, a lot of mares will work for the cutting and they'll work for the cow horse too, but they don't work as well as a general rule for the reining. What about sex gender? Like, what does studs do better than the mares in the rope horse futurity world? Do the mares do better? Talk to me about you know, when I say shit like this, there's always somebody in the fucking comments that I've got a mare that does this. I don't give a fuck, you know. We're just talking about, you know, just because somebody has the exception to the rule doesn't mean the fucking rule doesn't stand, okay? Yeah. So as a general rule, what sex a horse does better for training a rope horse and competing? Because for a long time, ropers, for as far as I'm concerned, they didn't want mares. Mm-hmm. They didn't want them at all. They used to kind of shit on the whole mares. It was very anti-mare. Is that stigma still there or not?
No.
It's not there anymore, but it was.
It was,
It was there for sure. At least I can tell you in my side,
yes,
in Mexico, people, you know, try to look for studs or geldings.
Yes.
Not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now everything's about the mares, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
mares have got a lot of value now.
A lot of value.
Okay.
And in the breeding program, mare, you know, brings 60 or 70% of what you're looking for in a horse. Mm-hmm. Good studs, there are plenty out there. Plenty. And what discipline, you name it. There's thousands.
So from a training perspective, do the mares train up? Are they easier? Are they more difficult? The same? You know, obviously each horse is individual, but as a general rule, do the mares take the pressure as good as the studs in your world? Talk to me about that. Do you see any, you know, what I'm trying to ask there?
For our program, which I'm riding a lot of the race cross type stuff in the heading, like the mares that want to be good are way easier.
Oh, truly?
Because they, like a gelding, he loses expression pretty fast and just gets where he just... Yeah. He'll go do his job and he'll do it all day, every day, but he'll just go take it. Where the mares, like once you get them...
Are we talking about horses or a man that's been married for 45 years? Which one are we fucking talking about here? You just described my second marriage. But anyway, continue.
You lost your expression?
Last year I was married like an old fucking gelding, just wandering around the pasture and look over the fence and there's a stud fucking a filly. I'm like, yeah, I used to do that kind of shit. And I just turned into being a fucking worthless fucking gelding. I swear to God, I'll never go back to those days again. But anyway, continue. You're not my therapist, but continue.
Where, like I was saying, the mares, I've got a couple now where, like, I ride them, I exercise them a couple days a week. They don't take a ton of training, and when you call on them, they're there. Like the highest earning mare would have been the mare that Miles rode in the head, and then Jeremy Bueller won a bunch on a mare last year. They were the top earning horses. So I think the mares are gonna do a ton of good stuff.
So basically, you're telling me the stigma's gone now.
Yeah.
As a general rule, the stigma's gone.
Totally.
Okay. Right, Evan. From a horsemanship perspective, what do you think was the hardest thing for the general team roper, and especially the guys in the rodeo world, to have to learn this set of skill sets? What do you think they had to do different that was the biggest shit that's hard to do? You know, was it their hands?
The biggest obstacle?
Biggest obstacle. Was it getting the horses broke in the face? Was it getting the horses collected? What do you think the trainers that were traditionally training a rope horse for a rodeo world, what was their biggest thing that they really had to overcome coming back to the rope horse futurity world?
That's a great question.
Like, if I had to guess from the outside looking in, and I mean, completely could be 100% wrong, to me, it was getting control of their face and their body parts.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest thing in our event is they're broke a little bit in a different way, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to move every body part around. It might not be put together like you want it put together, but if I can't move their body parts around and have everything broke loose, then I can't really get my horse to do what I need him to do in my discipline.
Put him in the position that you need him to be in.
And that would be, to me, the biggest hurdle for guys that rodeo now is they're working on themselves doing something, and they want a horse that'll let them help it a little bit, but pretty pattern that'll go do its deal. Where, like, the futurity world is going to help the industry as a whole in the team roping world, because what it's going to do to the younger generation. There's a ton of money to be won. They're going to come up through this, and it's going to make the bar be set higher.
Yeah.
I mean, you go watch the NFR now, and it's already a lot cleaner than it was 5 years ago, and I think it's because of the futurities.
Oh, so you've even noticed the difference at the NFR. You can tell in those horses?
Oh, totally.
Interesting. What are some of the things that stand out for you that you can mention that you've noticed different?
Well, forever, just talking about the horse part of it, like, most of the horses that were rode at the NFR were 16, 17, 18 years old, like real old campaigners. And there's been, I mean, Colton Schmidt rode a horse of mine last year that's been through the NFR, been through the futurities. He was 7 years old, and he had a chance to win a gold buckle on the horse. That was kind of unheard of.
For a horse to be that young
and go
that
do
experience.
It time and time again.
And you think that's directly tied to the way they're training them now in the futurity world?
Training and genetics.
And genetics, both.
Training
and
and
being
genetics,
able
definitely.
to put a foundation on them.
Yeah.
Where before, if you were an open roper and you're training one, the first place you took it to was the biggest futurity you could take one to in the rain, and you had to run him as hard as he could. How many times can you go do that in a year? Like
Not very
said.
many, yeah.
Where this deal now, I can almost take a big-time colt or a filly, and I can go show her at 65% for 2-3 years, and I can create that foundation to
Build
where
her confidence.
now, when she's 7-8 years old and I do call on her, she's solid. She's been through the deal. She's had the good runs. So I think that's a huge deal in the industry.
Just that the
for
training
us.
changed. The training itself changed.
Yeah. And you think a lot of that has got to do with just the access of information now, YouTube, like YouTube, clinics. People don't hide the information. Like me, for example, I made my whole career selling information.
Right.
So it wasn't a hidden thing. Does that make sense? Is that
Right.
There's so many people out there now that were willing to share information. If you're willing to pay for it or sign up to a clinic, the information's there. That's got to be a big part of it, isn't it?
yeah.
Is that
Technology.
that we're just sharing information now.
Technology played a big role. No doubt about it.
You know what I mean? Some of the older podcast guests we've had on, they told me that when they were kids that they weren't sharing information like they do today. The old timers would keep it to themselves, and you had to be in a little bit of a good old boys club to get it. Not anymore, I don't think.
No.
I went to the Cactus Classic when Taylor Sheridan had his qualifying run out there, qualifying for the Run for a Million. And I went out there and watched a bunch of trainers warm up about probably 3-4 years ago now, and I sat there for about an hour and a half and watched them, and I was like in shock, because it's like, you know what? The level of horses they need to compete now is shocking. The horsepower was unbelievable, and they all look like they were training the same way. There's no more secrets anymore. They're all doing very close to what each other are doing now. It's not like one guy's got the edge up because nobody else knows how he's getting this horse done. I think with YouTube and clinics and information now that there's no more secrets there. To me now, you're trying to beat your competition by horsepower, and I think the next big edge in any industry is you've got to keep the horse sounder.
For sure.
Will it stay sound?
And the market itself is more strict, it's more demanding. So that obligates you to do the best you can, the better job in training, genetics,
all of it's
mixing
coming
all those bloodlines.
Yeah.
Well, even the
different.
training part of it,
Yeah.
like me, myself, I mean, I watch videos of you. I go ride with Corey and the cow horse stuff. I've been around the cutters a little bit, so it's been me wanting to go seek the information.
Yeah.
Where, like, we have to give a lot of credit to the cow horse trainers, the reiners, all those guys, because a lot of the ropers have went and learned from them, okay, what are the fundamentals of getting one broke, and be able to take the things that work in our industry and applying it.
Yeah. See, that was the biggest thing that that was one of the biggest things why I wanted to do some business with Miles Baker, is because for years everybody said, oh, Clinton, your shit won't work on rope horses. You got them too soft, they're too broke, they're too collected. That shit doesn't work in the rope horse world. I heard that my whole career.
That's not what we saw today.
Yeah.
We love what we saw today.
So when I met Miles at the fucking cow horse futurity, we got to drinking a couple of cocktails. And I asked him about that. And he said, no, your shit would work. And I said, okay, let me take a 2-year-old of yours and let me do my shit on it. And you come ride it after 60, 90 days. And he did. And he said, everything you do will work perfectly for what we're doing. He said, the only thing that you do that won't work for us is that if you've got a guy that is maybe overweight, a little heavy-handed, he doesn't have a lot of riding ability and balance, your horses are so soft and broke, if he jerks too hard or loses his balance and jerks the rein, and he said, your horse is not going to be that forgiving because everything means something.
Right.
He said, that guy needs something that's a little bit rude in the face, kind of stiff, kind of dumb, kind of ignorant, so that when he loses his balance and is not good with his horsemanship, the horse will cover it up. So he said, yeah, your stuff won't work for that guy, but if it's not that guy, it'll work perfectly. You rode it so you came to the ranch today and you rode a 2-year-old. So I've got 4 months of riding on her. What did you notice when you rode that filly today?
She felt super confident. She knew what I was after. I mean, she
like
felt
you literally just jumped on her. I didn't ride her.
She felt like she'd been rode for 2 years is what I felt. You know, I mean, I didn't have to go around there and stop her and turn her around and do whatever to know that, I mean, you could feel it under that she was confident. And that's the biggest thing in our event is they have to learn it's not a controlled runaway because those words don't sound right, but when we drop our hand in the box, like they have to want to get there. So the biggest thing about sticking them over the bridle and getting them soft is just getting a horse in the box where when you pull, they don't want to get over it. They have to learn almost how to get in your hand a little bit and be just, I guess if you want to say rude, like if you got in the box and felt it, you'd probably be like, ugh, like he's in my hand way too much. But for us to be able to score and that horse not make a move and not pick his head up when the gate bangs, like he's got to be on the end of the bridle reins and leave off your hand.
See, to me, the easiest thing in the world is to get a horse's head up. You know what I mean? You just don't soften and supple a horse. Two things happen when you don't bend them and shape them. Like that filly, okay, that you rode. She's real light. I've got her real bridled up, etc. If you just didn't soften her very much and bend her and move her body parts, in about 2 weeks, she's going to pick her neck up even more. She'll get a little rooter in the face, where not rooting her nose out, but she'll take a hold of that bridle, and you'll have that feel exactly how you want. That's just, all you got to do is leave her alone. Because the stiffer a horse gets, two things happen. Their head and neck comes up more, and their nose pokes out. The softer you get a horse side to side, two things happen. They lower their neck, and they give their face vertically. So to me, getting a fucking horse's head up is the easiest thing in the entire world. Now, what is difficult is getting one that's been rooting the bridle and been, rooting on your hands and running through your hands. Getting that son of a bitch to get soft and supple, holy shit, that's some work. You know what I mean? To get him out of that. I was talking to Miles the other day because that 2-year-old that we did 60 days on that 2-year-old we did for him. And he took it home. And now it's a 3-year-old now this year. So I called him the other day and I said, how much more riding did you do to that horse through that 2-year-old year? He said, Clinton, I'm embarrassed. He said, I might have rode it for another 2 months through the whole year. He said, it really didn't get much. So he said, it might have had a total of 4.5 months of total riding in its 2-year-old year. And I said, well, are you behind now in the 3-year-old year? He said, shit, no. I'm right on the track. I'm right on the money. He said, yeah, the horse is not a big-time open horse for me as talent, but that's not my fault or a horse's fault or his. It's just talent. But he said, it's sure a damn nice horse. So to me, when you get them broke, they don't have to be in training all year, Rhen.
No.
He's basically saved 8 months of training at $2,000 a month if you just get them broke in the beginning.
They've got the best basics.
They've got the best basics. That's exactly. I said to him, I said, what are you going to do when you take him home? He said, just let him grow. He said he just needs to get bigger. feed the shit out of it, and make it get bigger. You know, so to me, the earlier you get them broke, the softer and more supple you get them, and the more you get them broke through their body parts, the more you can quickly see how much natural talent they have. Because when they're broker, you can tell more about them. When they're unbroke, you're trying to wonder, is he just sorry or is he sorry broke? Or is he maybe both?
Yeah.
You can't quite tell. Is he just not real talented or is he just not really broke, which makes it hard for me to see how much talent he's got.
In our case, it's very different because we break him and then we take him out in the pasture, as a remuda to work with cattle for 6 months. And that's when you find out if they have talent or not.
Right.
And then after that, when they come to the arena, to be honest, they feel completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not arena horses. They're working horses.
Very much so.
And then we bring them back to the arena and we see a big
There's something
change.
about riding young 2-year-olds outside that just matures them. We take all my colts, like Miles's colt, we took him every year in January. We go out to Arizona to Dean's place, DT Horses out there in Scottsdale. We ride him out in the desert for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
2 weeks riding them out in the desert, circling bushes, stop, backing
Makes
up,
a
up and
difference.
down gullies. We're not just trail riding them. We're like fucking training these
Right.
horses out
Right.
in 4 million acres on Tonto National Park there, okay? We can, in 2 weeks of riding, it's almost like we gave them 6 weeks of riding in the arena.
Absolutely.
I can get more done in 2 weeks than what I could if I rode it 6 days a week for 6 weeks in the arena. I don't know what it is, but it just mentally matures them. Physically, it just makes them way better horses.
I agree with you.
Yep.
That's exactly how we find out how talented they are.
I've been doing business now at DT Horses for probably almost 10 years now. And one of the things I really appreciate about doing business with them is they're horsemen first. They care about who buys their horses, where their horses go, and ultimately they want the horse to excel at whatever event it has the most natural disposition and talent to do. Sure, they raise world champion cow horses, reining horses, cutting horses, and rope horse futurity horses, but in reality, Dean Tufton is fanatical about letting that horse tell you what event it's going to excel at. Sure, we might buy a cow horse, but it may be suited better for the rope horse futurity prospects, might be suited better for a cutter. You don't often get breeders that are absolutely fanatical about making sure those horses get the best start possible and ultimately excel in the event that they're going to do the best at. They have the most natural talent, disposition, and they enjoy that particular event. Like I said, been doing business with DT Horses now for a little over 10 years and absolutely enjoy it. One of the best places I've got to buy my horses.
For information about the athletes available, please contact the DT Horses office at 480-471-4348.
Real Cow is the most realistic mechanical cow on the market. It has the feel of a live cow all at the touch of a button. Its unique rubber track allows it to run smoothly over any surface, and it has the battery power to work horses all day. Real Cow Training Systems makes mechanical cows for cutting, reined cow horse, and calf roping. NCHA and NRCHA top competitors are using Real Cow in their everyday training programs. Join the list of competitors who use the Real Cow by visiting realcowtraining.com to find out more. Mention you heard about us on Clinton Anderson's Uncut and Real Raw podcast for additional discounts.
This episode is brought to you in part by Valley Equine, managing stallions that represent the performance horse industry's finest. Let's pivot a little bit here.
Yeah.
There's how many partners in the Old West Futurities?
There's 5 total partners.
5 total. 2 of you are sitting here. Who are the other 3 partners?
So my dad, Chad, is one. Redgie Probst, Jerad Wittwer, Miguel, and I.
Okay. And how did you guys actually form this partnership? Like, how did it kind of happen? Did one of you say, hey, let's get a few guys together? Talk to us about how you guys sat down together and figured out how you're going to create this rope horse sale and thing. How did that work?
Well, for us, we never really thought it was going to turn into what it did.
Why not, to be honest?
We just thought we'd put on one nice, good futurity every year and pay as much money as we could, and that would kind of be our deal.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I don't
Just
really
didn't have a big vision for it.
Yeah, we didn't. And it just, after year 1, it kind of showed us like, wow, that was bigger than what we expected. So it just, you get guys in a room that have like minds, and you get on a whiteboard and you never know what it can turn into. And exactly, you put the horses into the picture. Redgie, I, and my dad, we both have programs, and it just, I don't know, it just turned into something that we're talking about now.
That's awesome. Talk to me a little bit about the sale part of it. Do you guys sell 2-year-olds, or do you really only sell 3-year-olds in the sale? What age are the horses that go through the sales? And there's 3 sales per year. What cities are the sales in?
Guthrie, Oklahoma is our first one. It's
What time of the year is that?
April 11th is the sale this year. Our second one will be in Heber City, Utah. It's the 16th through the 21st of June, so the sale will be the 20th, I believe. Check me on that.
Okay.
And then our third one's in Fort Worth, and it'll be in the fall. It'll be on the back end of the Snaffle Bit Futurity.
Okay, right a minute.
The sale in Utah is going to be on the 19th.
19th.
Of August? Or-
June.
No, June 19th.
Okay, so of those sales, what are the ages of horses that go through that sale? Are they 3, 4, 5, and 6? Two to what? What are the ages?
Yearling, 2-year-old,
Oh, you can put a
3-year-old.
yearling in these slots.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So even for 25 grand, you buy a slot for a yearling.
Well, like it's happened a couple times already, is you didn't have 4 3-year-olds and you wanted to get eligibility on a young one. You put a yearling in there, now he's got it and he packs that with him forever. What does that do to his value? Right? He might have been.
So if I buy, let's say I buy a yearling out of the sale, okay, so I'm eligible now, but I sell that horse privately to somebody else, that slot goes with that horse.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
I don't own that slot. That horse
Goes with the
technically-
horse.
Horse technically owns the slot.
It's all about the horse.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What is the majority of ages then that go through the sales?
I think everybody's goal is to have a 3-year-old in there just because they maximize the most that horse is going to bring. I mean, you bring a 3-year-old in there that's pretty trained and we can see what he really is and we're not just betting on blue sky, it makes that horse worth more.
And it's going to be competing the very next year. So
For sure.
Okay.
it's just a quicker return.
You think if I brought a 2-year-old, based on the 2-year-old you rode today, and you kind of get a bit of an idea what I can do now, if I brought a 2-year-old that was bred right and had the right look, if I brought that horse to that sale July, August, could I do well with that if it had the right look, if I bought a slot?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Okay, if it runs down there and
especially with what we saw with those basics that it
If
has.
it run down there, drug its ass, turned around,
Yeah.
broke, soft, it's not like I'm going to be laughed at, but I'm not in your rope horse world. They're not expecting it to rope a cow.
They'll probably jump at the opportunity.
Okay, so a
because they
2-year-old
know.
can still make it in these sales.
Totally.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Now, do you guys have a sale preview before they sell? How does the actual preview part of it work?
So we do have a preview. We're still trying to figure out how we want that to look. Because you can't really rope on them, especially this early in the year, a 3-year-old.
Good point.
You know, where it's not really fair to the horse or the exhibitor or owner to go there first trip away from town on roping and like really show the horse. So we're still trying to figure out how that is going to look.
Do you do it through videos?
So we have videos with our sale catalogs, every horse, and that's kind of what we've told our consigners is, hey, like, do the best job you can to show us what your horse is on these videos, because when we come to the sale, you're going to, you can ride him around and they can watch you do whatever, but as far as you being able to go rope on him, you're not going to be able to do that.
Okay, so even if somebody bought a 5-year-old, they don't rope on them in the preview.
Well, they'll never be a 5-year-old. It's
Okay.
3 and under.
Oh, it's 3 and under. Okay, so it's yearlings. Anything from a yearling to 3-year-old can go in the sale.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay, once they hit that 4-year-old futurity year or 5 and 6-year-old year, they're out.
Yeah, there's plans in the future to be able to have an age horse type sale, say that's been showed through his 5-year-old year, because we want to pay a ton of money out into the non-pro. And we want those horses to be able to have the same type of deal as what the 4-year-olds and the 5-year-olds will have. They got to come through the sale to be able to compete for all that side pot and bonus money.
What happens when those 40 slots sell out? What happens then, that year? Like this year, there's 40 slots. So how many of them already sold? Like what happens when that gets sold out for that year?
So when the 40 slots are sold, so just say you're wanting to put a horse in there.
Yeah.
The only way that you can put one in there is to purchase a berth from a slot owner.
Okay.
So you'd call me and you'd say, Rhen, this is what my situation is. I want to put a horse in Heber City. So we would go through there and try to find a slot owner that isn't utilizing his berth at that particular sale to be able to get your horse in it. So in time, that's why We only sold 40 slots because we wanted those to appreciate as much as we
I
could.
was just going to ask you, if I bought a slot but I didn't use it, do I have the right to sell it for $35,000 to
Yes.
somebody? Can I sell it for more
Yep.
money?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
We're going to put deadlines on those to where, okay, you own a slot and you're going to go market your berth. If you have a timeline to where you can do that, and if you can't get it done 30 days before the sale, then it's our job to be able to place that berth with somebody so we can utilize maximizing all these sale berths. Because the way this thing funds itself is to be able to sell 160 horses a year. All 40 slots sell all 4 of their berths.
Okay. So basically, so even though I'm not in the rope horse industry per se, I could technically walk up for this year and I could buy 4 slots. If I put down 100,000, I can buy 4 slots.
You could buy 4 berths. The slots are already gone and paid for. You'd have to purchase a berth from somebody that owned a slot.
Okay, and go from there.
Yep.
Okay, and every year they become renewable again, like they open up again, so it's first come first serve kind of a deal.
The slots won't be, so we sold our slots and those guys own them. They just they own them forever until they decide, okay, this ain't working.
You can
for
buy
me.
a berth.
And we've got a list of guys wanting to buy in now, and it's just,
let's say I have a berth that I'm not going to use. I turn it back to Old West, and I said, Old West, I'm not going to be using it. If you can find a customer for me, that's fine. And then we make,
So those 40,
some
did they
calls.
originally? How much did those 40 original slots cost?
they cost $25,000, and they'll cost that every year. The price of the slot will never go up.
Okay.
But if you were a slot owner, you can sell your burst for whatever you want, or you can sell your slot for whatever. We want you to make money on your slot.
Okay, so somebody can sell a slot
It's
too.
just like the pink buckle. What are the pink buckle slots worth today compared to what they were 10
Has
years
anybody
ago?
done that yet or not yet? I know it's sort of new, but has anybody
No,
sold this?
not
Nobody
yet.
sold a slot. Berths, yeah, but not a slot.
Huh, interesting. Was it hard to get people to believe in what you were doing because you were just starting? Was it hard to get those 40 slots originally sold or not really?
Not really. Most of the people that bought the slots, we went out there and handpicked.
Yeah,
They're-
went to them and sold the program to them.
They're people that we've had relationships with through business and through the industry, and we wanted to solicit the best programs. So, I mean, everybody I feel like kind of believes in us and they're behind us, and we've tried to do the best job we can to show them, hey, like, we all got to be in this together or it won't work. Like, we're not over here trying to say this is our deal and this is what we're going to do. We've had meetings set up at every one of our shows, and we get everybody together and feed them dinner, and we strategize and get on the whiteboard and how do we make this better. So I think for us, trying to get everybody involved and be on it and sell it and do it is how we grow it.
Okay. Now, how many horses are actually in the sale? The sale itself, is that limited to just the slot, like a 40?
Only 40.
Only 40. So every
Only 40.
sale, there's 3 sales though, correct?
That's it.
And you can only put 40 horses in.
You can put only 40 in Heber.
In Heber, the other ones can
The other
be
two
60
will
and
spread
60.
out
Okay.
whatever's left.
So the total is 160.
Okay.
But the only one that can have 40 is Heber. That's the only one.
And that's
so it's pretty much 60
when
and
is
60.
That, when is that sale then?
June.
That's the June.
That's the June.
That's the June
so is that
19th.
your big one in June,
Oh,
quote
yeah.
unquote?
It's hard to say. I mean, we've only had one sale, and it was in Heber, and it was really good. But just like Guthrie this year, it's only going to have 31 horses in it. I mean, it could be twice the size as the one in Heber last year. So it just because people didn't really know what was going on last year, where now more and more people are starting to realize the kind of money we're going to pay out. And I mean, I see that Guthrie
When is the
sale
first
being
year
huge.
that you actually pay out the $1 million? When does that happen?
This year.
It's going to be
This
this
year.
year. It's going to be the first
I
one.
bet when that happens, people will be talking, texting, and telling everybody.
And you know what? After that sale of that last year, I guess that people, we gain a lot of credibility
Yes.
to, to the effort that we were working on.
Yeah.
So selling those lots, even though we were handpicked or whatever, it wasn't very difficult because people believed in the effort that
I
we were
bet
doing,
those slots will be worth a fucking fortune. When you start paying out $1 million 3 or 4 years from now, whoever bought those slots is a damn good investment.
Well, the thing that we haven't even talked about is next year, if you're a limited rider, and you win the Futurity at Heber City on a sale graduate, $250,000 bonus. If you're an intermediate rider, it's a $500,000 bonus,
Yep.
and those aren't split from the million. If somebody, there's three events. There's heading, heeling, and breakaway. So if you were to split it with an intermediate rider that was a header and a heeler, then they'd split the 500 and win 250 apiece. So like there's things that we're going to do to try to grow from the bottom up that just create value for the horse and the slot owners.
So something just popped into my head then. So like in the reining, and we do it in the cow horse too, is you have 5 judges and at a major event. So they take out the guy, I always make the joke, you know, they take out the guy that hates your guts. They take out the guy you bribed. So now we got 3 assholes in the middle that supposedly don't hate you and don't like you. You know what I mean? They're somewhere in the middle here.
Yeah.
And I think it's a pretty fair system. You know, get rid of the guy that hates you when you walk in. Get rid of the guy that you bribed last night at the bar, and you got 3 in the middle. Yeah. How does that work in your world? How many judges do you... Because, you know, there's the heel horse is getting judged on his shit. Surely one judge is not watching both horses, is he?
No.
Okay, so how many judges do you have watching the heelers, and how many... Talk to me about how many judges work for this.
So just to simplify it, it's an individual event, right? So when you're showing a heel horse, you're going to have a helper that's on just a help horse. He's not getting judged at all. The only thing that's getting judged is the heel horse.
Okay, every run.
It's every run.
Okay, I did not know that.
It's not the whole run that's getting judged.
Okay.
It's just that, whatever that discipline is.
Per discipline. If it's heeling,
if
it's
I'm
heeling.
showing a head horse,
that's all that's going to show that
that's
day.
all
Yeah.
that's all that's gonna get judged on that run. The heel horse is not gonna get judged.
I did not know that. I thought that you could have a guy get judged in the heading and another separate guy.
But still, he needs to make it happen.
Okay.
I mean, if he misses...
he's got a catch.
So let's we talked about if the heeler misses the heads. So if a head is being judged and he catches the cow and he does everything right, but that heeler misses, again, he's out too.
No time.
Holy
gone.
shit, there's a lot of pressure there. You wouldn't want to be somebody's buddy. I'm not signing up to be somebody's buddy. That's for damn sure.
What's
Exactly
it gonna do as far as pressure when $1 million on the line?
Oh, I'm sweating just thinking about it.
They called the NFR the pressure cooker. There might be a new one in town.
But this is going to be a game changer, Clint.
Yeah.
This is really going to change
I could
everything.
see those slots being worth a lot of money one day. Whoever
Well,
bought
and
them.
just
and
what are the horses?
genetics?
Yeah.
And the genetics itself.
You go win $1 million on a stud or a mare, and if he won $1 million, he won the side pot money, he won the main pot money. Like, what's it do to his babies or her babies? Like, it creates so many things around the horse that is what we're so excited
So
about.
is there any studs, like Solo Melanie's got the dark horse, okay? Is there many studs that have been successfully shown in the roping industry that are purely roping studs, quote unquote? Like you're not, like, you know, we talked about using cow horse or cutting studs over racehorse mares and all that type of stuff, but is it in its beginning stages that you've got a rope horse stud? That's all he is known for. That was all his whole career. Is that popular just yet, or it's in its infancy?
It's just getting rolled out now.
Would the dark horse be kind of the earliest one of that generation?
Dark Side.
Oh, that is in Dark Side.
Dark Side, and then Pride and Joy were the two that Solo have now.
Yeah.
There's been 4 or 5 different studs that have been good.
Both incredible.
JD has showed a shiner stud that did good in the AQHA stuff. He had success in the Futurities.
Do those horses have the potential to be good breeding horses? Like, will people support them is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because just like you
absolutely.
take the Dark Side, and he's out of a rope horse mare that's produced rope horses.
Okay.
They haven't cow horsed her stuff as far as I know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's probably the first one that's been like, okay, we're going to breed a horse to a rope horse mare that we think's going to create a rope horse.
That's awesome.
Time to Glow is another great horse that they have.
What's
over
it called?
there. Time to Glow.
Okay.
It was an all-around horse.
Oh, yeah. There's been some
Incredibly
good
talented.
ones. But I think, like, Time to Glow's out of a mare that's produced a lot in the cow horse.
A lot in the cow horse.
You know what I mean? Where the Dark Side, his mom was a world champion in the AQHA.
Oh, yeah.
She's had multiple horses do good in the AQHA and just the roping.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I would say he's probably the first one
Could be, yeah.
that was strategically bred for rope horses.
That's kind of exciting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Let's take another little break here. I've got some more questions. I want to pick up a new subject when I get back. But I love it how you guys are very much just treating this like every other industry, is that the genetics is what's taking you guys to the next level. Horse training for sure, but genetics especially. Breaking Bad is by the hottest stallion in the industry out of a great mare, Sweet Abra. He is athletic, extremely cowy, and was easy to train. He's a 3-time major events open champion with lifetime earnings of $230,000 and counting. He is subscribed to all the major NCHA and NRCHA programs and is in the Legacy Bonus Program with an estimated payout of $1 million at this year's NCHA Futurity. His 2026 breeding fee is $4,500 plus shoot fee. Breaking Bad is owned by Fultz Ranch, the previous owners of Metallic Cat and Stevie Ray Vaughan. The same people that made those two stallions household legendary names in the cutting and cow horse industries. Mention the Uncut and Real Raw podcast for free apparel with a paid contract.
How do you know what it takes to become successful? Talk to someone who's done it. Clinton Anderson became a multi-millionaire by leveraging his passion for horse training into a global brand and media empire, starting with nothing but the change in his pocket and the will to succeed. In doing so, he revolutionized an industry and became a celebrity. Now, you can put his experience and advice to work for your business. With Clinton Anderson's business consultancy, you can tap into Clinton's unique perspective, hear his straight talk, and get his no-nonsense advice. Just imagine yourself armed with Clinton's hard-earned knowledge and entrepreneurial spirit. So whether you own a ranch or any sort of business at all, we invite you to discover the transformative power of Clinton Anderson's leadership and innovation in your business. Call 1-888-287-7432 to take your business to the next level today.
Their hearts thunder for us. Their flesh and bone pushed to lift us higher, carry us faster, and stop on a dime. And when they've had a great ride, they deserve a great recovery. They deserve a Cold Creek. Cold Creek Spas offer state-of-the-art 35-degree aerated saltwater therapy, proven to reduce injury, speed recovery, and keep them at peak performance. Cold Creek Therapeutic Spas. This water is for winners.
This episode is brought to you in part by Silver Spurs Equine, home of the $1 million challenge. Righto, gentlemen, we're back after a break again. So we've talked about the horsemanship journey of what's changed from a horseman perspective with the rope horse futurity. We've talked about a lot about the genetics that you guys are doing to make these horses look and ride the way they are. I know it'll sound like a dumb question, but fuck it, I'll ask it. What about cattle? Like, have they changed in the last 10 years? Are you running faster cattle? Like, for example, in the cutting, a lot of the cutters have told me, 20 years ago, the cattle were a lot number. You know what I mean? They were using a lot more English-bred cattle. They weren't as waspy. Now, the cattle are so much faster and so much more run. The horses have to be quicker. The cattle have changed the style of cutting a lot. You know what I mean? So that I do know has changed. Being ignorant, has that changed at all in your world? Have cattle changed at all?
Well, I would say that the best cattle that we use in team roping is, no doubt about it, the M brands that come from Mexico.
They're called what, sir?
M brands.
M brands.
Because they have an M branded on them. That means that they're Mexican cattle.
Okay.
That Corriente cattle, the M brands that we're talking about, that cattle is only bred in the state of Chihuahua. In no other state in Mexico.
Why?
It's originated from Chihuahua, and it's only bred there. And is
it illegal to breed them anywhere else?
No, it's just bred in the high Sierras. That cattle brings from high altitudes. Chihuahua is the highest altitude part that we have in northern Mexico.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
And so that cattle is bred right there in the northern states, pretty much only in Chihuahua, in the high Sierras. So when that cattle comes down from the Sierras, only the survivors are the ones that come down.
So it's pretty tough country then?
It's tough country. It's it's just
it's not like lush pastures. We're talking about rocks, hills.
Totally.
These some bitches are just trying to survive.
They're born in canyons, in the rocky terrain, in the hardest terrain ever, and very cold temperatures over there. So When that cattle comes down, those guys are the survivors. So that's why that cattle lasts forever.
To what, practice on or show on or both?
To show, to practice, whoever gets an Embrand can rope for years on them. I've seen Embrands here that have been roped for 2 or 3 years, I guess, and they're still going.
Interesting.
When
Now let me
the-
ask you: if those horses, if those same cattle genetics, do they only bring over steers? They don't bring over heifers.
No heifers.
No heifers. Is it
Spade-
illegal?
They bring spade heifers.
Yeah,
is all.
if you bring a heifer, it needs to be spaded.
Is that a Mexican law or what is it?
No, it's just a protocol. It's the sanitary protocol that is established as of crossing cattle from Mexico to the U.S.
Okay.
So right now the border is closed, right? So the whole industry, we're going through a big struggle because that cattle cannot get across. So the only thing that we're roping on are native cattle. And those natives, I mean, even though they're good for a little while.
You mean by native, they were bred in America
Yeah.
and born in America?
Yeah, but they don't have that genetic.
So what is the difference between American bred cattle that'll be roped on? Are they slower? Are they fatter? Are they taller? What does the American Corriente do or feel or look like that's different from these ones that you guys raise?
They get fatter faster, and they give up faster. So they don't they don't
That
last.
kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah, go hand in hand.
That's funny. Yeah.
They
Are we
get
talking
fat-
about fucking people or are we talking about cattle at this point?
No, just the
Okay.
cattle. Just the cattle.
I'm just laughing.
They
I'm
get
just funny.
fat and they give up faster.
So they get fatter and they're slower and
So-
they give up. Are
so
we talking about kids now, or what the fuck are we talking
so
about
that's,
here, boys?
that's why we really need that cattle back, and that cattle is going extinct right now. Why? Because since it's only bred in Chihuahua, it's only from that region, and Chihuahua just got out of a very difficult drought. Only this last year we had some rain, but before that we had 5 inches in over 2.5 years. 5 inches of rain in 2.5 years.
Holy shit.
So this last year we had some pretty good rain, but boom, the border closed because of that screwworm deal that is happening.
Yes.
South of Mexico.
Yes.
But anyways, the state of Chihuahua and the state of Sonora, those are clean states. They've never had one single case of screwworm. They're shielded. No other cattle can cross through those states. But still, I mean, we're making our efforts, and we already made a suggestion to the authorities on why not putting those protocols to a test by allowing livestock for sports purposes only, without messing with all the
beef,
the beef part of it, the beef production and the beef industry. But we really need that cattle for sports,
Let
and
me
the
ask
horses
you,
too.
If those M cattle are so good, they must pay a premium for them, do they?
Oh,
you pay a premium for it. What does a
Absolutely.
typical steer sell for?
my-
When they were coming across the border,
It's probably a $300 or $400 premium
okay.
compared to a native steer.
Easy. And even though right now, because of the border close, right now you can find natives here and there that are $2,400.
You're shitting.
$2,400.
How much do you think, if you took that same calf that was born in Mexico and you brought that cow and that calf to America where it's got more lush grass, it's got more, nutrition, I'm curious what your gut says about how much it would still be instinct and genetics that would make it last longer, as opposed to it's just overfed, it gets too fat, it gets too big, and it doesn't have to be as tough to survive. I'm just curious, what's your gut say to that question?
My gut says that they wouldn't last as much.
Yeah.
Not really, even though they have the genetics on them.
It's got to be the environment.
It's definitely the environment.
Yeah.
It's that ecosystem in which they're born and they grow up. And
It's like, it's the same thing. Very few, I think, raising children, I think it's the same thing. Raising kids in poverty is tough, but raising kids with money is tough too, because I've seen a lot of kids, I've had a lot of kids in my whole career. That's what I did, so I taught people. And I've seen kids that came from wealthy backgrounds. They're almost at a disadvantage. I know I sound like a dick when I say that. They're almost at a disadvantage because they've never been fucking hungry. There's something about being fucking hungry that makes you tougher than the kid that's never been hungry.
how's that cycle that says that hard times bring strong men brings good times bring weak men, weak men bring hard times, and the cycle goes back
continues.
again.
Yes,
So it's pretty
that's
much
exactly
the same, right?
So I think it might be a combination of the genetics, but they had to be tough as shit just to survive.
Oh, that's exactly right. It's the whole environment. It's the ecosystem where they're born. And when we bring them here, they really make, and I don't mean any disrespect to to native breeders or whatever, but that cattle is just. I mean, you can ask any roper. I mean, they just don't last as long as
and I've heard that before as well.
As the M brand, and they're not as frank.
It sounds like you need the American breeder as well because there's not enough of these M breeds. Correct?
Totally.
You have to fill the market with something.
Right now, there's no M brands.
Yeah.
The border has been closed for over a year now, so there's no M brands.
So is it the positive of that? Looking at a flip side. Could a positive of that be that you guys now in Mexico will build up your numbers more? Will you have more heifers in a breed?
No, well, what I was telling you is, I mean,
you're only shipping over steers, so it doesn't matter.
But no, we went out from a very big drought. So when that drought happened, a lot of people sold all their mama cows, all their cattle, everything, because they needed to survive somehow, and it was very expensive to keep them alive, right? So now the border closed, and so it's a big hit. So a lot of people need to survive. So what are they doing? They're selling all their mama cows, bulls. Very bad. So right now, if we can get if we can get our hands in 12,000 head of M brands, just 12,000 head of M brands in a year, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's that.
When the border was open, what would be the typical amount of numbers that would cattle come over from Mexico? M brands.
M brands?
Yes.
Well, it could go up to 16,000, 18,000.
Oh, right? That many.
So right now, we get our hands to 10 or 12,000 right now in a year. That's a lot.
Is there guys in Mexico that's how they're making their living? Is just raising M brands, roping cattle?
Many people, yes, because since all this, all these breeders are very small. They're in the high Sierras. They're, very humble people. And they have, 2 or 3 or 10 mama cows. And what we do is, we get them all together. We try to buy as much, cattle from them as possible at the best possible prices. And then we get them all together at Las Tunas at our ranch. And then we ship them all at the same time. That's right there. That's where we make, lots and the perfect combinations. And then we send them here to the U.S. So
try to send them as uniform groups.
Uniform groups.
They're all the same size, roughly.
So Las Tunas is pretty much, the larger Corriente cattle exporter.
These rope horse futurities that you guys are putting on, are they American cattle that you're using to rope on for showing, or M brands?
Right now, yes, but last year's at Heber, it was M brands too.
Well, our goal was to be able. That was one of the main reasons that we came together, was like, okay, what's one big piece of this that we're missing, and what do we really want for our exhibitors and owners? I mean, there's nothing worse than going to a cow horse show and a cow screwing you. Yeah, right? You've done good in the reining and the cutting, and all of a sudden you go down the fence and you don't have a chance.
Right.
So that's one thing we wanted to provide was, okay, we're going to lean on Miguel. We want to bring X amount of cattle over here, M-branded steers, and have the very best cattle at every one of our shows, and also try to create something for these other gold buckle, Royal Crown, have enough cattle to where we controlled it, and we make sure that we're roping the best steers we can at these shows to try to give.
What is the average weight of the steer that you guys are going to be showing on? Is there an average size that is a good size to be showing on?
This year?
Well, any year.
I think, like,
just
starting out, you're obviously going to rope probably a little smaller steer.
Right. For the 4-year-olds.
For the 4-year-olds, and just that time of year. You know what I mean? But they'll be around the 425 range, and by the end of the year, 475.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's so important, because sometimes it's pretty unfair to put a 4-year-old, with a huge steer and try to, try to demand so much on that horse that it's just unfair.
Yeah.
So that's why we need that variety.
I think for us to be able to show a horse how we want them to show, we want light, fresh type cattle to where those horses have to be, they can't be leaning on you and wanting to do things. We want to have a steer out there that makes the horse have control throughout his
help the horse shine,
years.
And the rider and the breeder and everybody.
Valley Equine Reproduction is a premier equine breeding facility located in Stephenville, Texas. I've worked with the team there multiple times and had nothing but great experiences. Formerly known as the Brazos Valley Stallion Station, they offer everything. They manage over 45 stallions, including some of the most renowned in the industry. They offer mare care and breeding services, foaling out services, a recent mare program, sales fitting, and rehabilitation services. Plus, their Super Stallion Incentive Program has awarded substantial payouts. In 2024, the program paid out $1.4 million across the NCHA and NRCHA. If you're in the breeding business, you have to check out Valley Equine Reproduction. Visit them online at valleyequinerepro.com or give them a call at 254-485-8280. Silver Spurs Equine owns and stands over 30 champion performance horse stallions. They strive to provide options to top prospects for every preference and budget. Reining is the main focus of Silver Spurs breeding program, and they have developed their $1 Million Challenge as an incredible incentive that offers huge payouts to the champions of 7 different reining competitions around the world. Silver Spurs also raises about 150 foals per year at their ranch in Oklahoma, and each one is offered to the public for sale. This provides a wide variety of options to buyers looking for their next prospect, and most would be eligible for the $1 Million Challenge. Find the perfect cross of traditional performance horse bloodlines combined with the modern dynamics of today's performance horses. All available prospects can be found at silverspurssalehorses.com. This episode is brought to you in part by Breaking Bad, the hottest new NCHA Futurity sire. Let me ask you this then. So you've kind of briefly mentioned, and I'd like to piggyback off this a little bit about Miguel coming in to solve the cattle problem. Miguel, how did you get into the roping horse industry? Have you been born and raised into this, or talk to me a little bit about your business model and what you do?
Absolutely. Well, I've been involved in the ranch my whole life. My father was a rancher. I lost my father when I was 23 years old, 22, 23 years old. And since then, well, I had to go work somewhere else. We were going through a very difficult, economic situation as a family. So I went back to Chihuahua, studying in Monterrey, Mexico. So I went back to Chihuahua and started working in order to,
live.
To live and to help my mom and my sisters and to help them out. And through the years, I promised myself, because when we went through this difficult position in Mexico, we sold everything. So I said to myself, one day I'm going to get it back, and I'm going to do it right. And right after that, I started working for some other companies, and then I started my own company. And thank goodness, I've been beyond blessed.
And that company's in the rope?
No, not necessarily. That company's in the mining industry.
Okay, what kind of mining?
So we provide and supply everything that has to do with the grinding media, everything that the mines use to grind, the ore.
Yes.
That's what we supply. Steel balls, steel bars, explosives, chemical reagents, lubricants. So we're into that market.
Yes.
It's the mining industry. So that business started growing very much in Mexico and internationally. Now we have plants overseas
That's awesome.
in Peru, in China, in Nicaragua, and so many other places.
Where did you get the bug then for specifically roping? Where did the horses and
I was a roper, so I was very little, but then I had to quit for a little while because I had to go work.
Yeah.
So when I started the company and the company started doing okay, I said, now it's time to go back. So I purchased this land, Las Tunas, and we started, making our own program. And I relied on a lot of people that, knew a lot more than me and that helped me out and mentored me. One of those guys was Dr. Glenn Bludgett from the Sixes. He helped me out a lot building my breeding program. So for me, I've been, very blessed to have people, like Dr. Bludgett, like Chad, like Rhen, like Redgie, great partners, and friends like Trevor and Miles, that you talk to them a lot, like Melanie. A lot of people, embraced me in this industry.
That's awesome.
And you know what? That's the best thing about this industry. It's the people. It's incredible. And I'm telling you, as a foreigner, it's a very difficult and very small niche. But boy, have I been blessed.
That's awesome.
Oh, everybody has been super gentle to us, and we have great partners, and that's how I got involved. So I went back at it, And then we started our own breeding program.
How
and
many
it's been growing
rope
and
horses
growing.
do you typically try to breed a year, mate?
So our facility over there has around 150, 160 horses constantly. So we have around 50 to 60 brood mares pretty much every year that
Yep.
are bred over there.
And you're specifically breeding for rope horses, correct?
Specifically rope horses and cow horse.
Oh, cow horses too? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
Oh yeah, we're in both, but mostly roping.
Okay.
Mostly, because it's what's bigger in Mexico.
Yes. Those horses then, do they go through, do you have your own training program down
Oh,
there
we
as
do.
well?
Oh, we do have our own training program. We have over 12 people training daily on our
Oh,
ranch.
interesting.
It's a pretty cool
Yeah.
operation that we have over there. And
Do those horses then come back to the States to compete, or do they compete in Mexico?
Both.
Both.
But as of now, well, they're staying in Mexico, right? Even though a lot of people from the U.S. are buying our horses and they want us to keep on training them and keep them there until it opens.
Yes.
But still, we still sell a lot in Mexico as well, and also the cattle part. So it's two divisions: it's the horse division and it's the cattle division.
Yep.
And that cattle division is the Corriente cattle that we're talking about, plus the mama cows of the Corriente that we also have, plus the registered Angus. So we have those three cattle operations and the horse operation.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool program, and
Yeah.
we were awarded for, what was it, 2024, the International Best Remuda Award from AQHA, which for us it was a real honor. Actually, it was 2025 because this year nobody won it. So we competed against 80 ranches across the world. And,
Congratulations, that's
and
awesome.
we won. So for us, it's
a big deal.
It
You
is
should
a
be
big
proud
deal.
of
It is
that.
a big deal. We're proud of it, and particularly knowing everything that was behind it and how it got back on track again,
Yeah.
and now winning the International Best Remuda Award for us. It's very fulfilling. But not only for me, for my kids, for my family, my wife, definitely for our workers, our collaborators at the ranch. They feel, they really ride for the brand. They love it.
Let me ask you a couple of questions about that. Young guys in Mexico, are they really big on the horsemanship part of it? Do they enjoy learning? Is it a culture thing down there?
Every day is getting better.
Okay.
It's getting better. Really, you start seeing a lot of development of people's skills. Because back then, we didn't see that.
Yes.
But now they want to, emulate and copy, from the best. And we, like us at the ranch, we bring people in at least once a month to give them clinics.
I'd love to come down there and see your operation.
Anytime, my friend.
I think it'd be fun just to see
you
what
have
you're
a home
doing.
in Chihuahua anytime, but Las Tunas is your place. But that's the idea.
We'll go
Plus, you're
together.
gonna have
We'll go together.
Plus,
Yeah.
Plus,
You better not let me there by
You're gonna
myself.
have fun. You're gonna eat fantastic, and then we own a tequila brand as well.
Oh,
so
truly?
it's gonna
Boy,
be
yeah.
cool. So it's gonna be
That's
cool.
what we should have brought.
Yeah, exactly right. We should have brought some.
Well, thank you
500.
very much. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you, my friend.
So, Rhen, talk to me a little bit about your roping background. How'd you get into the rope horse futurity deal? How'd you get into roping? Were you raised into it? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've always had a rope in my hand since I was a little boy and loved it.
Your parents did it too then?
My dad actually got me into it. He didn't grow up a cowboy. I was a first generation guy. He's born and raised in Louisiana and then moved to Utah in the 70s. Work kind of brought my grandpa that way, and he was an athlete, played college football, and got to know some guys when he was in college that got him into roping. So that's kind of how it started. And then, ever since I was a little boy, I just had passion about horses. So
What do you think specifically got you into roping? You could have been a reiner, you could have been a cutter, you could have gone other places. What do you think
My dad-
drew you to the roping part?
My dad roped.
Okay, so it was
Yeah.
just proximity to it.
Yeah, he roped, and since I was a little boy,
Yeah.
I had a rope in my hand.
Fair
for
enough. Okay.
As long as I could
So that was
remember.
what you had access to.
For sure.
Technically, if he was a cutter, you might have been riding cutters.
I would have been,
Correct? You
yeah.
get what I'm saying? So you had access to it.
It was honestly, it was like I just had passion for horses the whole time. So, I mean, it plugged in great with the futurity deal. I actually timed it about right with my rodeo career. I rodeoed for 14 years. I made the NFR 6 times.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And then kind of when I was done, the last couple of years I rodeoed, I was doing both. I was going to the futurities and still rodeoing, and my kids were getting to the age where I just didn't want to be gone like you had to be to rodeo, and it just transitioned into the
It
futurity
seems like
stuff.
living on the road for those rodeos is pretty tough on families. Like you're
yeah.
always gone.
Oh yeah, it's demanding.
Yeah.
We spoke about that today, actually.
Yeah.
But he's been very humble. His family won the All-American Futurity in Ruidoso. What year was that?
2009.
How about that?
Okay, that's pretty hard to do, isn't it? That's the number one racehorse.
It's the
event.
Kentucky Derby
It's
of
that's
quarter
what I'm
race.
trying to
Quarter
ask.
horse,
It's the
yeah.
Kentucky Derby of it.
Yeah.
How old are those horses in that race? 2-year-old or 3-year-old?
2-year-olds.
3-year-olds.
Two.
Two. Okay. So do those racehorses, is that their big peak is 2-year-old year that they're racing them? Or is it
2 and 3.
2 and 3?
Yeah, so they're
do
2
3-year-olds compete against 2-year-olds or
No,
not?
that's their Derby year.
Okay.
This is their 3-year-old year.
What is typically a running horse's career over, by 4 or 5? When do they stop racing them?
I'm going to say the majority of them are 3-year-olds when they're done.
Oh, truly?
There is some aged horses that go on and do some things, but the main deal is 2 and 3-year-olds.
So after that 3-year-old year, if they're not going to be a breeding horse, where do those horses go? Do they go to barrel races? Where do those horses end up? Do they go to roping? Where do they go?
Yeah, I think they go a little every
Just
direction.
go out into the
Barrel
industry?
racing. There's a lot of match racing they do. There is some aged events that they go into. I mean, a lot of ranch horses are X-race horses.
Oh, yeah.
And the rodeo world. I mean, there's a lot of people that, bulldogging horses, they go make really good bulldogging horses. I've headed on quite a few of them. So,
Are you breeding the horses that you're trying to win on now? Do you breed a lot of your own, or you try to buy prospects and then train them?
no, we breed 99% of everything I'm riding.
Okay, how many broodmares do you try to keep around?
We've got 40.
Okay, that's quite a few.
We've built our program off about 6 or 7 mares. So we've got mares now that are 4 generations deep that go back to that old good mare,
Yep.
and that's kind of how our mares are now.
So out of those 40, are you trying to start 42-year-olds every year, or you sell some of them?
We're probably keeping half, starting about 20 a year. And
Are you doing most of the training, or you've got assistants helping you? Or how's the training?
So last year, a couple kids from home, we started 17 ourselves just because of the money and the time and the transition of a guy we had that was kind of helping us start them. But we're going to send most of the 2-year-olds out and get them started. It's just we don't have time to do it, and nor are we near as good at doing it.
You mentioned the time. It's all about time. It's consistency.
To do a good job.
To do a really good job. 2-year-old guys, they need to be paid.
For sure.
Because to me, it's the most important year in a horse's life. And I know 3-year-old futurity guys will laugh at that and say that's bullshit. I'll stand by it. I think a 2-year-old year is even more important than a 3-year-old, because if that 2-year-old year gets fucked up, bad basics, holes in the foundation, I don't care how good you are as a 3-year-old trainer, it'll make your life hell trying to fix all that shit. Yeah. So a lot of the time, I don't think really good 2-year-old guys, I don't think they're paid enough, and I don't think maybe they're even respected or needed and appreciated enough that how time-consuming it is. Like that filly you rode of mine today, she's been ridden like clockwork 6 days a week for 4 months straight.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It doesn't matter. It's consistency, consistency, consistency.
Yeah. Well, and I think the rope horse industry has actually created a position for a guy that might not be just a top cow horse trainer or a top cutting trainer. Like, it's kind of created something where, hey, I can get 15 to 20 outside horses at $2,000 a month, and like, I don't have any problems getting the horses. There's getting to be so many guys that are getting into this now, and they don't have anywhere to go, nor they know how to do it. So I think it's created a lot of jobs for guys to do.
Very much so. Now it's almost like the 2-year-old cutting guys. There's guys that just make a living out of training 2-year-old cutters.
Yeah.
Then they go off to the other trainer as a 3-year-old. Very much so. Like, starting next year, we're taking over all DT horses, their whole 2-year-old program. All of their 2-year-olds will come to us. We'll keep them all year. Because Dean told me, he said, the biggest problem I've got is finding people that will invest the time into 2-year-olds. Because most trainers, if they're not going to show the horse, or they're not going to sell it, make a commission, it's just a grocery money horse. They don't give a rat's ass about it. It'll get ridden last at the end of the day. It gets the least amount of attention. And I said, I can fucking fix that. You send me all of your 2-year-olds. I'll make sure I put my best guy or girl on it. I'll oversee it. I'll ride one horse each day and check on them, and we'll keep them all year. And we've been doing that. Well, we're starting it completely next year. I get all of them, but I've been doing it for the last couple of years with them. And he said, Clinton, the thing that I love about the consistency is I don't have to keep them all year to figure out which ones I want to keep and which ones maybe won't work. He said, you get them so broke, we can come ride them in end of April, and we already kind of have a pretty good idea of which ones we want to keep and which ones they go.
Right.
So the ones that aren't going to make it doesn't mean they're bad horses. They just go to a different industry.
Totally. Sure.
Where he said before, I've had to keep them in training for at least 12 months. I get them home, and most of them aren't fucking broke. So I don't know if the horse just doesn't have any talent. I just don't know if it's not very broke. So now I'm trying to figure out, I'm spending another 8 months trying to figure shit out. He said, hell, I can figure out my horses now with 4 or 5 months worth of training. Yeah. He said, you're saving me a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I definitely think that 2-year-old guys need to be paid, and there's a whole industry there. If a guy's willing to stay home and ride, he can make a damn good living, raise a good family, and not have to live on the road. And have to rely on prize money.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Talk about the other partners you've got. What other things do they bring to the table here? You know, we've talked about you two, but like Redgie, for example, I've had one conversation. Seems like a pretty cool guy. What does he kind of bring to the program? What does he? What is his?
He's the one that keeps us together. That Redgie, he's amazing. He's an amazing human being. He's a great friend, a great business leader. He's a great.
So he kind of runs a little bit of the business mind of it too.
Oh. Well, yeah, pretty much.
I think everybody kind of has their own strength in our deal. Everybody's doing their own type of business, but we'll just because we're on Redgie. I mean, he started a company there in Utah and sold out to a huge company called Quanta Services and worked his way up and ended up being the COO for them, and they have 60,000 employees. So I mean, he's a sharp guy. He's got a ton of passion for this industry.
Does he rope himself too?
Yeah, he ropes. And I mean, he's just like most businessmen. He never had time to really put his time into roping, right? It was when he could do it, and he's got kids, and he's invested a lot of time into their kids, trying to get them where they want to be in the rodeo world. So,
but I think that one thing that unites us as partners, to be honest, is that we found that we share pretty much same values and principles, and you know, we have this business mindset that keeps us going, and we always want to do things better and finding new, the right ways to do better things and innovate for the industry. And everybody, like Rhen says, everybody brings something to the table. And in Reggie's case, well, his business mindset that he has, and you know, he's a great friend, a great father, and you know, a great businessman, and he does things right.
The last year, I've been using the Real Cow. What a game changer. Out of all the mechanical cow devices I've ever had, this is by far the best, hands down. What I love about the Real Cow is that it simulates as close as you can to a real cow. With its 2 speeds, and not only in the 2 speeds, you can control the speed within that gear as well. You can make the cow go away from you, make it come back towards you, make it arc around you. You can circle it if you're a cow horse trainer, or go down the fence. The versatility of this device is unbelievable. I'll actually load it up and take it to horse shows. Now I've got a mechanical cow. Wherever I want to go work my horse, I just pull it out and start using it. The Real Cow is an absolute game changer. Make sure you go to their website, realcowtraining.com, and check it out. It's the best investment you'll ever make in your cow horse or cutting horse's career.
Nothing would please them more than to see this old piece of shit in a coffin. Oh, they want to drive a steel knife down his stupid fucking throat, and they talk about it quite often.
This one's short and sweet from the hate mail. This is from Valentine Davin. Fuck off. Who the hell do you think you are? I swear to God, these people are just fucking insane. Fuck off. Who the hell do you think you are? I'm just a poor motherfucker trying to have a podcast. I didn't know it would upset the whole world this fucking much.
DT Horses was founded with one goal in mind: produce elite performance horses. For over 20 years, we've consistently met that goal and raised the bar, thanks to our dedication and focus on what matters most. DT Horses believes that every horse we raise deserves the best start possible. With a great foundation in place, all our colts go on to excel in the discipline best suited for them. We have many top performers in team roping, cow horse, cutting, calf roping, and barrel racing. We're offering our elite horses to the public. For information about the athletes available, please contact the DT Horses office at 480-471-4348. Learn more about DT Horses and the impact we've made on the Western performance horse world at dthorses.com.
So Chad, my dad, same thing. Just
captain.
He's had a ton of passion for the horse industry his whole life.
Does he like to train his own horses?
No, he doesn't train much. He just tells me what I'm doing wrong, and
that's his job.
That keeps him busy.
I love it.
He's ran an oil company for pretty much his whole life after his youth years, and I mean, if we're open and he's around, he's there watching it. He's a big part of it. He loves the horses.
Yep.
Has a great eye for conformation, and I mean, he built his program up, and like we said, he bred and did the whole win the All-American Futurity. There's been people that have been in the industry their whole life trying to win that race and couldn't ever get it done.
What does that pay to win that event?
$1 million.
$1 million, eh?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's funny you say that. Like, we've used that kind of telling people, like, look, what are your odds of winning the All-American Futurity and how many horses are in that? And we kind of we steer it back to our event.
Right. So in your event, they can win that just the one time, correct?
Yep.
The $1 million.
Yep.
Now, didn't you mention to me before during the break? You said there's other ways that they can win more than $1 million. Didn't you say if they win every level or something?
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
There's actually we call it a triple crown. So in 2027, it'll start if you win all 3 Grade 1 Futurities.
Grade 1 Futurity.
Guthrie, Heber City, and Fort Worth. You would win $2 million just in bonuses. We'd pay $1 million Triple Crown bonus, plus the bonus you'd win at Heber City. That's not counting the side pots and all the other stuff. So, I mean,
isn't that cool?
It's
How
gonna
many
happen.
times have you seen
know what
that?
I mean? It's gonna happen. There's always 1 or 2 horses every year that are like that horse, and it seems
so it's not an advantage. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're a header or a healer. You have as much chance as each other, correct? It's not like the headers have more advantage of winning the money than the healers. It's everything's judged individually, correct? So with saying that, do you naturally get more healers that enter or more headers that enter? What, is there a little bit of a sway? Is it 60-40 or is it 50-50?
There's been just a little bit more in the healing.
Little bit more in the healing, okay. Yep. Any reason why, you think?
I think there's just been more of those horses in the industry.
Like I said, supply and demand.
Yep. I think 10 years from now, I bet it's pretty even.
Yeah.
It might not even take that long.
Yeah. But it sounds like your guys, the industry's growing so damn quickly.
Yeah.
I don't think it will, but it sounds. But what about the last partner? You said there's 5 years.
So Jerad Wittwer is our other partner. He's been a close friend of all of ours. He's a super smart guy. He's got a performance diesel company. It's called PDI, and he's into that. You can tell he's got passion about that. Like we have horses, and he's also got a ton of passion about horses. He's got a boy that's kind of apprenticed under Trevor and Miles the last couple of years, and Jared's all in. He actually brings the marketing team to our company and has put together an awesome team.
I got to tell you, he has the greatest marketing team ever.
They're amazing.
What's pretty cool about this is you guys, seems like each partner's got a unique skill set that they bring to the table. And what I love about what you guys are doing, it seems like you're bringing a lot of ideas from outside of the industry in. Yeah. And I've always done that with my own marketing and my own business. Like, I would go a lot, I don't do it now, but for many years, I would go to different expos in different industries. I'd go to yachting industries, aircraft expos. I'd go to lots of different expos of things that have got nothing to do with the horse industry. Because as a general rule of thumb, the horse industry is about 30 years behind marketing in general. Just the horse industry in general is just about 30 years behind all fucking business and marketing. So to me, when I went to other industries, I could see something in the yachting industry. A perfect example, like I have about 10,000 members in my No Worries Club. That's where I make my money. They pay me $40 a month, and there's 10,000 members, okay? It goes up and down a little bit, but as a general, about 10,000. So I got this idea. We have a quarterly journal that we put out, a magazine. But it's not like a regular magazine. I got this idea from the yachting industry. They're really high-end, $100, $200 million yachts. They have yachting magazines, and they're about that thick, but the quality of the paper, the smell, it just smells expensive, looks expensive. The quality of this magazine blew me away. I got one of them from one of those big yachting expos. I came back to the marketing team and I said, see this? I want you to produce that quality, but for me in the equine world. And it looked like I rung the bell. You know what I mean? Because most horse magazines were on the cheapest paper possible, the thinnest possible, nothing. It was all done on how cheap can we make this.
Right.
If I'm going to charge a premium for you to be a club member, see, I take a little bit of money off fucking shitloads of people. That's my business model. But I wanted to give you something that when you picked it up, it felt expensive, it looked expensive, it smelled, you know what I mean? It like a different feel for it. I got that. I'm not scared to admit it. I got that from the yachting industry. When I want ideas for the horse industry, I never get them out of the horse industry. I go to other industries to get ideas, and then I bring them back and say, how can I tweak that a little bit or make that work for the equine world? So it sounds like you guys have done the same type of stuff with different people and different business models and said, what can we do now to bring that business model back to the horse industry, which I think is smart.
And how can we understand people better? What does people want? What are we going to solve? Because all this is not only storytelling. It's what are we solving here that is missing in the industry? And I believe that this is bringing a very special part. There's this book called Unreasonable Hospitality. I don't know if you've read it before.
No,
but it's exactly that, what you're saying.
What's it called again?
Unreasonable Hospitality.
Unreasonable Hospitality.
Right.
Love that.
It's this owner from a New York restaurant and everything that he went through just to know, what people really expected. How did he make a different experience for everybody? I mean, he could serve the best meal ever to a group of CEOs, and at the very end, one says, what we're missing on our New York trip? We never had a hot dog from a street. So he heard it. He went to get the freaking hot dog, served it for them, and it was the best experience ever. Even better than all the plates that they had. So how do you understand people? Because maybe they were going to be happy with a $10 hot dog and not with a $2,000 meal. It's understanding what people need.
Yes.
And
I agree
and
with
what
that
people
100%.
want.
I always said this. I always wanted customers to get more than they paid for. Just for round. If they spent $100 with me, I wanted them to feel like they got $120 worth of value. Right. I want every customer to feel like they stole something from me just a little bit. They got the upper deal on me a little bit. That's good, because if they do that, they're going to come back again.
Read that book. You're going to love it.
I love books. I listen to audio books all day. I'm for sure
Unreasonable Hospitality.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys, we'll kind of start to wrap up here a little bit. If people want to learn, we threw a lot of information about how your business model works here. Is there a particular website or places that people can go to learn more about the prize money, the entries, the slots? Where do they go to get more information about what you guys are doing?
OldWestFuturities.com.
OldWestFuturities.com.
Yep. We're always putting more stuff on it, but it's got a lot on it right now.
That would be the hub that somebody would go to there. Yep. Correct.
And we try to stay busy on our social media and doing as much as we can. All of our events, we want to educate. We're going to have a dinner.
So the first one, it's March now. Where's your first event for this year?
April 8th it starts.
April 8th it starts.
The 8th till the 12th.
And what city is that in?
Guthrie, Oklahoma.
In Guthrie, at the Lacey Arena.
Where's the second event?
Heber City, Utah, at the fairgrounds there in Heber City. And then the third one will be in Fort Worth, Texas.
And again, all of that will be on the website as well.
Oh, absolutely. Correct? And they can always ask us.
Well, I can't wait to get you guys to come back in about 3 years, because I just got a feeling that you guys are going to change the whole shape of the whole rope and horse industry. You can't. I just think the amount of money you guys are going to give out, which then is going to trickle down to every part of the horse industry, from the breeders to the trainers to a 2-year-old guy. I think it's going to trickle down all that money. So I'm very excited. I'd love to have you guys back in 3 years, maybe bring the other 3 partners here as well, and talk about where you guys are going and what you've done, because I think you're just, from the sounds of it, you're just on the tip of the iceberg about what you're going to get done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys, cheers to you. Thank you for being here. I am going to take you up on this Mexico trip,
Oh,
though. I promise you,
absolutely.
my ass is coming down.
Absolutely.
You better come with me so I
I'm
don't get
in.
in too much trouble.
I'm
But
in.
cheers to you, brothers. Thank you
bet.
for having you.
Thanks for having
Salud.
us.
Cheers. Today's episode was filmed and produced by Uncut Productions, marketing by Stewart & Associates, and organised and administrated by Down Under Horsemanship. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a rating. Follow us and stay up to date on social media, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. See you next time, mate. Cheers.